more watchable, accessible and entertaining, especially for younger audiences. But there's been a huge pushback, a massive no way from the current game. So what exactly is R360 and why is it controversial? Rugby Union is facing challenges on a domestic level right now. There's huge financial instability across even top-tier clubs. The English game has seen leading clubs like Wasps, London Irish and Worcester go out of business in the top flight. The Welsh provincial game is in total disarray too. R360 says they would remove what are easily some clubs' biggest expenses, i.e. the big stars, and therefore make more of them profitable. So the plan is to inject a new lease of life into the sport. But how exactly? Top stars of the men and women's game playing for a franchise-based league with fixtures in cities like London, Miami, Tokyo and Lisbon. Each city would host a tournament featuring all the franchises during a short 3-month season. And though no players have officially confirmed, reports suggest around 200 have signed pre-contracts, some worth up to 750 grand. And if that's the pre-contract, you can imagine where the full wages will get to. Problem is, the rest of rugby says no. In fact, no way. The national unions from England, Scotland, Ireland, France, Italy, South Africa, New Zealand and Australia have declared any player joining R360 will be banned from test selection. World Rugby's also not approved the league. Many fear it echoes football's failed European Super League, a top-down, money-driven idea that could damage the sport's traditions. So is it dead already? Well, Rugby Union is at a crossroads. Some may be against it, but we know others are being swayed by the cash. So will everything work itself out? Or after the European Super League and Live Golf, have we got sport's next big scandal on our hands?
Okay, here we go indeed. 3 minutes past 6. It is, of course, Wednesday, the 29th of April. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with our good friends Arnold Clark. Buy a used car and get a free 2-year service plan, plus get an extra £500 when you part exchange. Shop the upgrade event today. Now, I'm coming to you live from the Luxembourg room in my hotel in Madrid. I'm back in London in the studio as the one and only Raimundo Parlour. Ray, how are you,
Ally,
mate?
how are you, mate? All good? How is Madrid?
I'm in... beautiful, mate. Lovely. We got here, perfect pal. We got here about, what time would it be? About back at 6, 7 o'clock last night, mate.
Yeah.
Checked into the hotel, out for a bite to eat, and then watched that game, mate. Did you watch it?
It wasn't a bad game, was it? Oh, Ally, I was glued. Do you know what? I was switching it up. Well, I didn't switch it over. Half time I switched it over to Southampton because that was always a big game as well.
Yeah, of course.
Against Ipswich. But yeah, what a game! I mean, end-to-end stuff. Some of the quality of the play. It was like watching a PlayStation game when two players are really good on a PlayStation. You know what I mean? The goals flying in, and yeah, it was a real good advert for the Champions League and some excellent stuff, wasn't it?
Ray, what about him in that first half at Elise?
Oh, Elise was different class, wasn't he? I mean, do you know? Yeah, do you know another one, Ally?
The boy Varet Scalia first half as well.
Yeah.
But I thought Elise getting down that wing on the right hand side. I've never seen. He was giving the boy Nuno Mendes a bit of doing. It was just incredible. And then the other side, as I mentioned, Kvaratskhelia. It was end to end stuff. And people, was one or two people are nitpicking about the defending and all that stuff. No, not for me. The quality of the forward play, Ray, was just incredible.
Yeah, it was indeed. And do you know another player who probably Liverpool fans will be looking at and saying, "Oh, why didn't we keep him?" Diaz as well. He was superb on that left-hand side for Bayern going forward. Mate, and you look at it now.
Unbelievable.
I'm sure Atletico and Arsenal will be looking at it going, well, wait a minute. If we get them in the final, one of us, we're going to have to be at our best if we're going to beat Bayern Munich or PSG. Who would you put favourites now, Ali, in this tie? PSG.
Oh, Ray, what a question!
Yeah, it's close.
Do you know something? I think they're both evens. I mean. Excuse me, I'm sitting watching that and I'm saying to myself, at 5-2, right, you're thinking,
it's over.
Well, it's heavy advantage PSG, and then all of a sudden it's 5-4, and you're thinking Bayern would take this, going back to Munich. I don't think, it'd be interesting whether we get Steve or Simon on for Coral to tell us later on, but at this moment in time, I don't think you could split them. I think Maybe just Bayern, no? What do you think?
Well, look, PSG, obviously, they'll be kicking themselves a little bit because to get 5-2 up, thinking, come on, let's just try and slow it down a little bit, keep possession. But Bayern, credit to them, they just kept going. They had a couple of chances at the end to get the equaliser as well. So, but the game itself, the quality of the game was magnificent. It really was. And as I said before, we have got the best league. There's no doubt about the Premier League, but the two best sides probably, if you look at those two going forward.
Agreed.
It's very hard to deal with the forward attacking ability they both got. So it'll be interesting to see tonight, out of tonight's game. It'll be 0-0 tonight, Ellie, your game.
I don't.
No, I think it'll be a little bit tighter. I'm sure, well, it was a tight game last night in quality of goals, but I can't see there being 9 goals tonight, Ellie, if I'm being honest with you.
No, I don't think it'll just be as open, mate, right? There's one or two people saying it might be up there one of the best games of all time. I'm certainly thinking about it, really.
Yeah,
I can remember it.
All the producers are so young here, aren't they, Ali? I remember the Paolo Rossi hat-trick against Brazil. Remember that game? 3-2.
Oh, I remember that.
That was you always look at the importance of the game as well, because you can get a really top club, loads of goals and end-to-end stuff when there's nothing. You ain't playing for anything. But these two teams last night were playing for the final of the Champions League, and to put on a show like that, I mean, Luis Enrique said after the game, he said that's probably the best game he's been involved in as a coach. So just shows you on that line, everybody was on edge of their seats, weren't they? It would have been an amazing game to be in. And I was listening to Alan Shearer on the commentary, and he said, "Oh, this is one of the best games I've ever been to." So John Champion, who you know very well, so two top guys there, and they were saying, "What a game!" And watching it if I was in that stadium, the atmosphere sounded like it was unbelievable. So that's one thing you get from Paris and. But when you go to Bayern Munich, it'll be exactly the same. So, it should be a cracking second leg.
Yeah. I've been lucky. I've been there that Paris Stadium a few times recently, last couple of years, and the atmosphere is incredible. Last night, I beg your pardon, it would have been ridiculous. So we had 9 goals in a game which was end-to-end from the first minute. Bayern led, PSG led, Bayern drew level. PSG scored 2 goals in 2 minutes to go 5-2 up. The Germans brought it back, a 5-4 finish. Cannot wait already for the second leg. But before that, obviously, I'm not sure we'll be expecting a 5-4 tonight between Atletico and Arsenal, that's for sure. Jason on the sports bar had his say last night on whether Arsenal potentially could go toe-to-toe with either PSG or Bayern.
We all love football. We're very, very lucky that we follow. We get paid to be here, but that was an absolute treat that no one. Look, maybe if people saw an exciting game, but nothing of the quality and the level from whistle 1 right to the very final whistle. You didn't know. Even PSG might have got the next goal. Bayern might have got the next 2. The levels of quality in that game was nothing short of extraordinary. And it just goes to, in my opinion, it just goes to show how dull the Premier League is. That has embarrassed, and it's not the Premier League into a cocked hat. It just goes to show, really, we think we're the best league in the world. We think we are the richest.
We are the best league.
Well,
we ain't got the best teams.
That
is the two best teams, though, Jace.
Yeah, I know, but why are we now where the best side in the country is Arsenal? Arsenal, and you watch those two. Arsenal can't compete.
He's unbelievable, isn't he? Do you know something? I think they're right. I do. I'm with you, mate. I definitely think we've got the best league in the world.
Well, most competitive, Ali.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that, because
when I'm looking at
the bottom teams can't see they beat the top teams.
Yes. You know, when I'm looking at that game last night, you talk about the different levels and quality. You know what I mean? The front players in particular, the midfield. They would definitely. I mean, we thought about it before. Let's be honest. We thought about it before that those two teams were probably, arguably, two of the best teams in world football. I think last night proved it. And by the way, I don't even know we've even mentioned it yet. Harry Kane's pass to Diaz, Diaz's touch back inside. I said last night, I'm watching that, right? I'm looking at the pass, the vision. The pass had to be dropped in a sixpence. The touch initially from Diaz had to be absolutely spot on with the outside of his kind of right tab. I don't think the defender Ray does an awful lot wrong, because he kind of stands up and stands his ground. He goes to hit it, takes another little half yard and whips it into the far corner. One of the best goals. It might have been the best goal of the night. But the ball, the vision from Kane, mate, was incredible, eh?
Well, absolutely brilliant. I mean, he's that sort of player now, isn't he? He drops into that number 10 role if he needs to, and his passing ability. He'll always score you a goal. The goals between all three of them at the front has been unbelievable. It really has this year for Bayern Munich. So, but Diaz, as I said before, it was millimetres really offside. It was a toe probably, wasn't it? Unbelievable onside, which was the correct decision. But as you rightly said, that first touch is so important. I always say that in football, really, Ali. You can say to youngsters, practice your first touch, because that sets you up. Whether it's going to be a shot, a pass, whatever it's going to be, that first touch is so important. And it was a brilliant first touch. But do you know what they have? The top players, they don't panic, do they, in front of goal? A lot of people might have hit that first time, and it might have been a block. But he went to shoot, and then he just drops his shoulder, got his angle, bang, back of the net. And that's the difference in the top class players and probably the average players who were probably a shot earlier, and maybe the defender probably would have got a block on it.
Ray, do you know what I find, mate, watching the top players in front of goal? They give themselves a split second longer than maybe guys that just don't have that same finishing quality. It's a little bit of a split second that they have just before the decision to make the finish. And I thought it was evident last night. I really did. I thought it was absolutely first class, some of the goals that we watched last night. Even Kvaratskhelia has equalised in the first one, where he cuts back inside and whips it into that far corner. What a goal!
He's so strong, isn't he, on the ball? I mean, Ali, you can't knock him off the ball. He's running back. His work rate is unbelievable. Exactly what you need from your winger. But his quality as well when he's on the ball is fantastic. The only thing I would say, I thought there was a little bit lucky to go in 3-2. I thought the penalty decision before half-time was a little bit harsh. You know, what can he do?
He's hit having it, mate.
Yeah, I know. He's hit his leg and gone onto his arm. What can he do? His arm ain't that far out. I know he had him right behind his back, but I thought that was a bit harsh, just before the break, to go in 3-2 up PSG. That, for me, wasn't a penalty.
I'm taking that a step further. I'm calling that a scandalous decision. I thought it was... I mean, I was up at my seat throwing things at the telly. It was a terrible decision, man. Honestly, he's got absolutely nowhere to put his hands.
He's not even looking at the ball, is he?
No, exactly. He goes out to close him down, Alphonso Davies. Dembele takes a cross. I think you're right. I think either comes off his chest or his thigh, and hits him in the hand, which is at his side. I thought it was poor. But anyway, I refused to let it annoy me in what was a brilliant game of football, mate. So you want to hear from me out there this morning? We haven't even had a chance to talk about Southampton Ipswich. We certainly will be covering that at some point this morning. Don't worry about that. Did last night put the Premier League to shame? Did any Premier League players get into either of those teams? Gabby yesterday only had one with Gabrielle. So 03717 22 3344. That, of course, is the number to call. Coming up next, guys, we're going to turn our attention to the back pages as Manchester City are complaining to the Premier League. More on that next.
So they won, Martin, and well done Arsenal for doing so. But with 4 games to go, can Arsenal unshackle themselves? Do they need to?
Well, I mean, look, to be honest, the situation Arsenal are in is normal. It's never easy to be a team that doesn't win it after successive years. 22 years for Arsenal, 26 years, wasn't it, for Manchester United, 44 years for Man City. You know, we can still hear Aguero in the commentary because what it meant and the day they tripped up there against Queen's Park Rangers. So these nerves are there. It's natural. I just thought that the weekend, Eze, how he handled those nerves, I think he's an example to everybody in the team, how he's loving the situation. I was stunned by the naivety of Newcastle, not recognising that, OK, we're all marking in the box, but that's not the player we need to pick up. And there was 2 early corners that was assigned to that, and his finish was magnificent.
But that's strange, isn't it? Eze, the one player who's never been involved in a title run-in, in a title race, is the standout.
Yes, but you think about his progression in the game, 27 years of age. Arsenal didn't want him, rejected him. His route to this level.
They sent us a picture that made me feel so ashamed. We look like hoarders.
Chris Marshall!
Yeah, I'm actually recovering from an accident right now.
You've landed loose today, haven't you?
Yeah, don't shake the arm, Chris, too much.
You're with Danny Boyle, who's like the maddest director ever. He's got so much energy. He's like you. Got some money to spend.
Le da su turno al verano, la costumbre del hispano es salir a vacilar. Se reúnen en la barriada, dejando atrás sus labores.
Y se van para las vías pensando rumba, señores. Y se van para las vías pensando rumba, señores.
Y los que no salen se quedan con sus colegas, vacilando en la bodega o jugando un dominó. Tomándose un traguito, se quedan en las esquinas y hablando con la vecina, la pasan de lo mejor.
Lo que esta fantasía viene con salsa y todos quieren salir a vacilar.
En las playas y en las villas ya se están volviendo locos porque ellos quieren bailar salsa con coco.
Okay, 6:19 at the moment. We've lost Ali for a short period. I was speaking about holidays there, was you?
You know what? That went on for such a long time. I was
it's
like,
Alan Brazil back in here again.
I know. I was like,
I thought, Alan, where's Alan? Is he going to turn up or what?
But I enjoyed
I'd love to see you, Katie, for the back pages.
Yes.
I was enjoying that.
Really enjoying that.
I thought Ali was as well. That's why he didn't say anything.
Yeah, I thought he was just really enjoying it, soaking it up.
I thought he was going to start dancing in his little room in Madrid.
He's got a lovely tan out in Madrid, you know.
Oh, lovely.
So let's do the back pages then, shall we, Ray? Lots of the back pages are filled with pictures of Ousmane Dembele and Harry Kane. Do that all over. Kane is on the back page of The Sun. I mean, this was such a classic, wasn't it? But I suppose, do you think, and it's interesting, Jason Cundy's been kind of saying that this Champions League tie put the Premier League to shame. Do you think that a combined PSG Bayern Munich 11 would beat, for example, a combined Arsenal-Man City Premier League 11?
It's really hard to say they would, but they certainly would be favourites, I should imagine. We're looking at the talent last night going forward for both sides. It was remarkable. And the game was unbelievable to watch. You know, I'm sure the people who's in the stadium would have walked away from there saying, "Wow, what a game I've just seen now! One of the best I've ever seen in my time." It's got to be up there with the best games, if I'm being honest.
Well, yeah.
But would they beat them? I don't like to compare because it's like when Man City got 100 points, with the Invincibles, Man United back in 90, you just don't know, do you? I don't. So, but I would say if you did put a team together, they would probably be definitely up there. For the best. But I'd agree with what Jamie said. I think Premier League is the most competitive league, but probably they're the both two best teams at the moment. Yeah. So you've got to say there would be a Premier League side then.
Yeah.
If you combine their sides. I don't think people would be back in the Premier League side if they... Well, it'd be some side, wouldn't it? That would be.
Yeah. It was just great to see two teams.
The bench wouldn't be bad either.
Going at it. Yeah, exactly. I believe we can bring Ally McCoist back in all the way out from Madrid. Ally, where'd you sit on this?
Loud and clear, Katie. How are you guys? Everything okay?
Yeah, we were just enjoying that Spanish music for
I don't know if you heard it,
10
Ally.
minutes.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Sadly, I heard enough of it last night, mate. To be honest with you, don't worry about that.
He's a bit stiff this morning. All that dancing last night.
Do you agree with Ray in terms of, do you think a combined PSG Bayern 11 would beat a combined Premier League 11?
All day. Yeah. From what I saw last night, Katie, I think that's... I mean, I think it's probably the best game of football I might have ever watched. Honestly, I really think it was that good. I get back to, I mentioned earlier, I was fortunate enough, guys, to be at that World Cup final, Argentina-France, which the drama and everything, the games were great. But watching that last night, just watching the quality on show, you know, the from the forward players and the midfield. I mean, even in the opening, they were closing down for the entire 90 minutes. I mean, I was watching Bayern in particular first half. I mean, they had 6 men. They were pressing PSG high up into their own kind of 18-yard box and really, really going for it. And I just think the quality, as Ray mentioned, Katie, the quality on the ball, people taking the ball in tight areas with players up their backside and things like that and laying it off. And it was just, I just thought the quality was incredible from what we saw. And it was funny because I did that, we did Gabby did his team yesterday. And I think the only player from today's or tonight's game that he had in, you know, the team out the 4 semi-finalists was Gabriel. And, you know, we can make a, you know, I'll get a case for and a case against and all that stuff. But come on, I don't think, and I've enjoyed watching Arsenal, and I do enjoy watching Arsenal this season, but even Atletico Madrid, you know, Alvarez and players like that, no. I don't think there's any of them getting in any of that. I mean, I think we saw the best in world football last night. I really, really do.
That could have been the Champions League final, couldn't it?
Yeah,
really?
Well, it would have
easy.
been,
Yeah. A combined 11 out those two teams, I think, is beating anything on the planet.
Well, I think the wingers as well. Look at both sides. The wingers. Yeah. That's a proper wingers, isn't they? The pace of it, you know, unbelievable goals. They don't panic, and you know, it's just as I said before. I thought Diaz was different class last.
You know what? I've missed watching him in the Premier League week in, week out for Liverpool.
I mean, Liverpool will be. They've lost a real talent now. I know. Look, maybe wanting to leave, but he was sensational last night. As Ali says, that goal when Harry Kane put him through that first touch, and then he, you know, no panic, dropped his shoulder, and do you know what they do? They hit the side netting. The best players as well. I mean, do you know what, Ali? I play obviously with Thierry Henry, and he learnt that going forward. He got better and better at passing it into the. You as a top striker, you know as well. If you hit that side netting, the keeper can't get it. Simple as that. With a bit of pace, there's no chance.
100%, Ray. Do you know what they do? If you look at them, when they get, as you mentioned earlier in the previous conversation, that little split second of time, what they do is, and Harry Kane comes into the category as well. They kind of start it outside the post. You know what I mean? And it comes back in, and as you mentioned, inside of the post, side netting, almost impossible to save them. I mean, Kvaratskhelia first finish was an absolutely perfect example of that. I mean, I don't think we'll get anything like that tonight. What are we expecting tonight, guys?
Well, it's going to be a real test, isn't it? Yeah, but very different kind of game.
No, don't you dare.
Yeah, hopefully it's better than Sporting Lisbon. But I just want to move on to this Man City story in the back page of the Times, because City furious schedule for title run-in. I suppose we don't mind this, Rez, Arsenal fan. No, Man City were left fuming yesterday when the Premier League confirmed fixture rearrangements that mean they will have to play 3 matches in 7 days. So the rearranged games either side of the FA Cup final mean that City will host Crystal Palace on Wednesday, the 13th of May, and then travel to Bournemouth on the 19th of May. That's on a Tuesday. So that's the final against Chelsea at Wembley is on Saturday. So it means that 2 away matches with long travel for the squad in a short space of time. I mean, Ray, where do you sit on this? Is this unfair, just what a team has to expect when they make 3 domestic finals?
Well, the TV pay all the money, didn't they? And they want to get these games on the TV. They want to, see the running. They love this at the moment because they don't know what way it's going to go. And I think every Arsenal game's on TV now, isn't it? And every Man City game's on TV. So they've got to try and schedule it to get as many people to watch the games as possible. Yeah. And that's what pays all the wages. That's what they get paid, lots of money. And I know, look, I can see their point of view. There's no doubt about that. But when you're going for a title, you just don't think about the games. You don't feel tired during games. You can't wait for the next one. If you're winning games of football, you can't wait for the next one. And they won't be training. They won't be training now.
They'll just be recovering.
They're just recovering for the next game.
Yeah.
So, I'd rather play a game than train, and I'm sure Ali would as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, it's not ideal, but, you have to get on with it. You can't do nothing about it, so it ain't worth worrying about.
Yeah, Ali, do you struggle to have sympathy for City compared to other teams in these situations because of the amount they've won and the amount that they've spent as well?
Well, I don't think that should come into it, really, no. Katie. I don't think the finances should come into it. I think they've spent a lot of money. They've got a lot of money. They've been very successful. And I think that's a separate issue. I think, and they would say that as well. I do have a certain degree of sympathy for them in terms that the game's been condensed. But unfortunately, I kind of think it's a necessary evil. It comes with success. The games are obviously coming, thinking fast, because they're successful. That they've obviously got a squad, them in Arsenal that should and could and should be able to handle that, Katie. So I do take their point a little bit, but they are where they are because they're successful, and they're just. Now I don't know. Have you got the figures exactly what Arsenal games have got, Katie, in front of them? Because I would imagine if you take it into account, those 2 games in Europe as well, at least 2. They'll be hoping obviously 3. Their fixture will be coming thick and fast and be very condensed as well. So unfortunately, I think from City's point of view, and indeed Arsenal's, it's just one of these things. No use mumping and moaning about it. You just need to go on with it.
I think the Bournemouth game's the one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they played the FA Cup final on the Saturday, and then they played Tuesday.
It's the Tuesday.
Why don't they play on a Wednesday? I don't know what the reason that would be. That could have been another day, which is a big thing in football. If you can get another day's rest, especially for the older boys, for the older the guys. But yeah, I don't see why they couldn't have played on a Wednesday because the next game is on a Sunday, the last game of the season.
And just finally, before I go, last story in the Times on the back page: red cards for players who cover their mouths. This is for FIFA's World Cup clampdown on abusive players. Where do you sit on this? Is the right choice to kind of stop players abusing each other and officials by covering their mouths?
Yeah, I mean, we always have a go at each other as players. I don't think that's a big thing, is it?
Yeah, but I think it's what happens under their mouths. We saw that with Vinicius Junior.
Yeah, well, that's the
racial
big,
slur was homophobic. They can't control that because they don't know. So therefore, if you say you can't cover your mouths, they're able to control.
Well, it's easy. It's easy to do that then and say, look, yellow card if you cover your mouth. Just so they know they're in control then, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, we've got to find a solution somewhere. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't have a problem with it at all. OK, guys, we're going to move on. Coming up with all Arsenal fans. Here's an interesting one. Would Arsenal fans be happy with a 0-0 draw tonight? I think they would be happy with a draw. I'm praying it's not a 0-0. Ray would be. We're going to discuss that next.
Lincoln City celebrated their title win this weekend. Decided this is the big moment to mock Spurs.
What? Oh my God! up the imps. Up the imps. Jay, Tottenham away, ole ole. That is shameless.
I don't know where to
Tottenham.
go.
Do you know that game now has been built up to something? Like,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's been a thing because of you. Because of you.
It has nothing to do with me. I'm not.
No, it is. No, it's because of you. You made it a
I'm
thing.
not playing centre off Spurs.
It's just who we are,
It's not my fault you're there.
Oh, it's a killer. Oh, it's a killer. Lincoln away next season.
Mate, don't knock the imps, mate. Up the imps.
Lincoln away.
Ole, ole.
It's just killer. It is.
Can you imagine Spurs start singing Lincoln away?
It's not often you associate fan power with Chelsea Football Club, but one of the shining examples of it lies with a group called the Chelsea Pitch Owners. And they've proved to be the thorn in the side of owners past and present who've been dead set on moving stadiums to a larger, more lucrative piece of land. Essentially, the supporters group holds the freehold to the land on which Stamford Bridge sits. Former owner Ken Bates set it up at a time where some unruly property developers tried to evict the club from their ground. In order to prevent this, he established the CPO as a company that owned the pitch and offered the fans the chance to buy a share for £100. As well as that, they also own the rights to the name Chelsea Football Club, so if any owner wants to take them elsewhere, they can't be called Chelsea without the approval from the CPO. Now, in 2011, Roman Abramovich tried and failed to move them away from Stamford Bridge, and this has set a precedent for Todd Bowley and the current power brokers at Chelsea. They know any plan which involves moving from Stamford Bridge will require CPO approval from the now 13,000 fans who own it. There are fans who are concerned that if they stay at the bridge, they'll be left behind their domestic and European rivals who are moving to more commercially successful stadiums. But for the heritage and history lovers, Stamford Bridge is one of the iconic English stadiums, and to move away would be a grave mistake. It might not be as flashy as others, but stadiums like it have something about them that cannot be replaced. One thing's for sure, if Bowley wants to take Chelsea away from their home, he'll have to go through the CPO first.
Okay, 6:34. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. It is Wednesday, the 29th of April. We're here with our good friends Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time, of course, to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the Upgrade event. Check it out online. Ally and Ray with you this morning, the latest edition of Talk Boxing with Simon Jordan, Spencer Oliver, Paul Smith and Fraser Clark is now available. This week the lads were joined by Fraser, who had been discussing the upcoming fight between Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois. Fraser told us who he is expecting to win.
After being in the ring with him twice and obviously we know what happened, I really struggle to see past Fabio Wardley now at the minute with anyone really, because he seems to find a way and I've seen vulnerabilities from Daniel in the past. So I think my head sort of says, and my heart actually, I like Fabio, so I think it sort of leans that way. But Daniel Dubois, I've said this a million times, other than David Price, Daniel Dubois is the second hardest puncher I've ever been in the ring with. So he's always got a chance.
Okay, there you go. If you're excited for that fight, do not forget it's heavyweight season in the zone. May the 9th, Fabio Wardley makes his first defence of his WBO heavyweight title against former IBF champion Daniel Dubois, and that, of course, is in Manchester. Then on May the 23rd, it's Glory in Giza as Usyk faces Dutch kickbox legend Rico Verhoeven with the WBC heavyweight title, of course, up for grabs there. Join the Zone Ultimate now and get 12 plus pay-per-views a year, including Wardley versus Dubois and Usyk versus Rico at no extra cost.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
Okay, after that 9-goal thrill in Paris last night, will we be treated to another spectacle tonight? I'm not so sure, but I've got everything crossed. And will Arsenal be able to put one foot in their first Champions League final for 17 years?
To the bottom left-hand corner. Atletico Madrid lead inside 6 minutes.
They're a team that are a bit more clinical than they once were as well, which I think in terms of Arsenal being nervous and making mistakes, that is the bit that could be costly to Arsenal.
Rice coming forward, right-footed effort, oh, it is in, and that'll be that.
I mean, it's the best part of the season, so yeah, everyone is up for it, everyone is excited.
Saka arrives straight to his feet, comes back to Gyökeres, who puts it in the top corner. Stunning finish from Victor Gyökeres.
What an opportunity. We're going to grab it with both hands. You're going to see a team that wants to be dominant, that wants to win it, and that wants to start to decide the tie tomorrow.
Okay, I'm absolutely thrilled to say joining me right now in the studio here in Madrid is to tell us just how nervous he's feeling ahead of tonight as broadcaster, big Arsenal fan, Harry Samuel. Harry, how are you this morning, mate?
I'm good. I'm not sure what to expect tonight, if I'm being honest with you. We made the trip out to Madrid. There'll be lots of Arsenal fans arriving throughout the day as well. Apparently the weather's not going to be too great here.
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't spoil the sort of enjoyment of it, I guess.
I mean, weather yesterday, we got here, I said to you earlier on, Harry, we got yesterday, but late afternoon, early evening, the weather was brilliant. But one of the guys said tomorrow, and you can see it outside, not looking the best. Of both teams, do you think, Harry, been put under a little bit of pressure after what we witnessed last night?
I think so. I think in terms of delivering a spectacle, there's now sort of a bit of an expectation. People are looking at what happened last night, the way that game panned out. And, you know, if tonight is cagey and it is two teams sort of who cancel each other out for large periods of the game, you're going to hear it, aren't you? That should have been the final. PSG Bayern, none of these two deserve to be here. But for me, you know, I don't think Mikel Arteta nor Diego Simeone will care too much. It's about getting through. It's about booking your place in that final. You can only go halfway tonight, of course, but I don't think they'll be too bothered about what happened last night. I think, if anything, they'd have both been looking at it, cringing at some of the defending.
Yeah.
Harry, I've got to ask you, coming back from London, it's beautiful weather here today, by the way, so we were expecting lovely sunshine. I'm glad it's raining out there, but just looking at team selection tonight, what does Arteta do? I mean, will he go there? Will he be defensive-minded because you're away from home, you've got the second leg at the Emirates? I'm looking at the wide areas. What does he do with Saka? Does he put him on the bench again by the way he starts? Or on that left-hand side, would it be Trossard, Martinelli? Obviously, Gyökeres will start because of Havertz being injured. But that wide areas might be very important.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one in the wide areas because, as you say, Bukayo Saka obviously only got a handful of minutes at the weekend. I must admit, when I turned up at the Emirates at the weekend, I thought he'd play slightly longer than he did, and I thought that would be to try and build him up for tonight's game. Obviously, that wasn't the case. So now, having only seen him play sort of 14, 15 minutes, you're wondering whether he can start the game tonight. Obviously, when he's there, Arsenal are much better for it. It's not to criticise Noni Madueke because I think he's stepped up at points when he's needed to this season, and I know he pushed himself extremely hard to get back from that injury he suffered on international duty to help the team. But I thought you could see the upgrade straight away when Bukayo came on. So if there's a way he can start, I think he has to. I think the left side is probably more interesting because we saw Eze play there at Manchester City. I think for all his brilliance on the ball, off the ball, he doesn't quite give you the same work rate that Martinelli does. And then you see him play that role again at the weekend, but he had to come off. And, you know, away from home at Madrid, would you rather go with Gabriel Martinelli, who's going to help the fullback and who's going to give you that pace in behind to potentially hit him on the break? It's an interesting one.
What about boys in the centre-forward position? I'm guessing, I don't know the latest on Havertz. Is Havertz out? You know, I think Mourinho would have been one as well. I think he's still struggling. Do you play Gyökeres? Is it as automatic as that?
I think it is because Arsenal are lacking alternatives to Kai Havertz, really. I think what's been clear over the last couple of weeks is, look, and Kai Havertz isn't this killer finisher in front of goal. We've known that from the day he joined the football club. But he is someone that just ties things together and connects the team in a way that, for me, Victor Gyökeres has struggled to do all season. And I think if you look beyond the goals, and the goal return's decent, you can't knock that. But I think if you look beyond that, I think Arsenal are missing something there. The other option would be Gabby Jesus, but he's not the player that he was 2-3 years ago. I think the injuries have really taken a grip on him. So I think Gyökeres is the option by default, but it's been a really sort of prevalent debate among Arsenal fans over the course of this week. Is he actually good enough? Was he the right signing, etc., etc.? He's got an opportunity to go out tonight and show that, you know, he is someone that can help.
I think the midfield, Harry and Ali, will be so important. I mean, you look at Arsenal, you've got Zubimendi, Odegaard, I should imagine will play in there with Declan Rice. But if you look on Atletico as well, they've got lots and lots of experience. Koke is in that midfield area. Griezmann, who will be dropping into that little hole and keep getting the ball. You've got to be careful with him because you know how quality on the ball he's got. And Cardoso. So I think the midfield area is where it could be won and lost tonight. I really do.
I think you're right, mate. I'm looking at it, and you mentioned Griezmann there. I thought he was, well, he is. He's coming just to kind of the end of his career. I think he's already agreed to go to Orlando in MLS at the end of the season. However, Harry, I was out here for the Tottenham game, and I know the Tottenham game it was wild and the defending and all that kind of stuff. Griezmann was out of this world, Ray. I'm telling you, mate, he was absolutely different class, really intelligent, as you say. That kind of player. We saw Harry Kane do it last night to great effect, just dropping into that number 10 area, if you like, just picking up the ball, giving them the extra man in the middle of the park. And I think Arsenal clearly, I mean, Arteta will be watching that and knows exactly what he's doing, and that'll be something they'll have to guard.
Yeah, they're going to have to be wary of sort of some of his movement, because his movement, as you say, is incredibly intelligent. The thing is with Arsenal's midfield, in terms of what we need to see in terms of counteracting that, I don't doubt the quality of Declan Rice and Martin Zubimendi, and if Odegaard starts, we know that there's a quality player in there as well. I just look at Rice and Zubimendi in particular, and I feel like they've been pushed to their absolute limits physically, and that frustrates me, because in the summer the club went out and bought Christian Nørgaard, a player that we were sort of told is experienced. He's been a Premier League captain for a number of years, and the idea was that he could come and take some of that burden and responsibility away from those guys. And to see he's only played 56 minutes in the Premier League all season, and then to be watching Rice and Zubimendi at a point where, look, they're both still great players, but you can tell physically they've been pushed to their absolute max. It is frustrating, and I just hope that they don't get overrun tonight, because if they do, that won't be on them. That will be on the way that they've been utilised, I think, over the course of the campaign.
Hi, Ray, honestly, you mentioned there, the one word that struck me there, you said overrun, because that is the one thing they will do. Right, you look at Simeone's teams. This Atletico Madrid side, I think, is a little bit different to previous Simeone sides. I don't think they're just as defensively structured. They've got a little bit more flair in their team, I think. Obviously, there are a couple of injury doubts at Lookman and Alvarez, but the one thing they will do, boys, they will run and run and run. Harry, tell me, result tonight. What would you settle for, and what do you think you'll get?
I think I'd settle for a draw, just because Arsenal are not in the greatest place in terms of their level of performances at this moment in time. It's not that you go out with the intention of playing for a draw, but if Arsenal get one, I'd be quietly satisfied with that. And 0-0 would do me. Take it back to Emirates Stadium and see how we get on next week.
No, don't even mention it, Harry.
Well, it's going to be now.
Give us a 3 each at least or something.
After last night, it is bound to be a 0-0. It's got 0-0 written all over it.
My record recently shocking, Ray. I've had a Brentford 0-0, I've had a Sporting Lisbon 0-0. Oh, don't do it to me. I tell you what, Harry, I think you're right, though. I think the Arsenal boys and Mikel Arteta would take a hand off for a draw. Thanks for coming in to see us this morning, mate.
Thanks for having me.
And make sure you enjoy the game. Right, still to come on Breakfast this morning.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Manage your Travis Perkins trade account online at travisperkins.co.uk or via the Travis Perkins app.
Well, it's all happening this morning, Raimondo. It's an Arsenal special ahead of their Champions League semi-final at the Metropolitano. Tonight, live, of course, on talkSPORT, and we will be joined by Luton Town manager and two-time FA Cup winner with the Gunners, Jack Wilshere. Jack's going to be joining us later on this morning. And a special treat for everybody. My old mate, Laura Woods, is out here in Madrid, and Woodsy said she'll be dropping by to tell us just how nervous she is before tonight. That, guys, was our breakfast preview, I beg your pardon, with our good friends at Travis Perkins.
I wasn't looking.
On you go, take it, Woodsy.
I don't know the next. That's it. I don't know the next line.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Get free next day track delivery. Head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
But surely with players, Martin, conning referees with fake injuries and hence pausing games, there is a culture of distrust that's been sown by the very players.
Yeah, and with the goalies particularly, we saw that in the FA Cup yesterday, caused a mini riot with Leeds players going berserk when the Chelsea keeper goes down. So I just think they got it right. And I think Glaz isn't right. I don't want to be just seeing the game stop there because somebody's got an injury. He got up. He tried to get to his feet. We could see that there was an issue, but it was in the same action. I don't think you can stop it for that.
Even if it's a goal, is there a difference here in that it's the goalkeeper?
But what does the rules say? These guys make the rules up as they go along. They've made the rules up as they go along, and they now think that the rules that they've made up are the ones that everyone's got to abide by. The fact is that players have somehow managed to coerce referees into believing that every time someone falls over and hurts themselves, that the game's got to be stopped. And there's this unwritten law on the field that's established by the players that if someone gets injured and they determine the game should be stopped, it should be stopped.
They sent us a picture that made me feel so ashamed. We look like hoarders.
Chris Marshall!
Yeah, I'm actually recovering from an accident right now.
You've landed loose today, haven't you?
Yeah, don't shake the arm, Chris, too much.
You're with Danny Boyle, who's like the maddest director ever. He's got so much energy. He's like you.
Okay, 10 minutes to 7 this morning. This wonderful Wednesday, the 29th of April. I'm looking out that window there in Madrid, and the weather is okay. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. Ally and Ray with you this morning. Katie's back with us. Katie, what about the breaking news? The weather is okay in Madrid.
That's beautiful.
Thank goodness you're not a weather presenter.
I mean, I'm
Ali.
coming from Glasgow. I'm deserving better than this, to be honest with you, guys.
I can't wait for our next weather update with Ally McCoist. It's okay. Okay, we're going to talk about fellas, because last night's game in Paris wasn't the only blockbuster game we had on the talkSPORT network. It was second against fourth in the championship as Ipswich faced in-form Southampton.
Four teams continue to scrap it out for the one remaining automatic promotion spot alongside champions Coventry City. I think we've all known for a good while that this fixture would be pivotal to the promotion picture. Reeves lobs it up to the edge of the area. Azon did well to win the first header, tosses it right, chance for Barnes, 1-0! Ipswich on the brink!
Win this game, keep a clean sheet, they're in the Premier League.
It is Ryan Manning for Southampton. Whips it for the bottom corner. It's in! 1-1! Massive goal for Manning! Ipswich, the chance to go up tonight has just been cancelled out by that equaliser. Here comes Ryan Manning in space for Southampton. Slides it through to Larry. Great first touch. Chops inside the defender and scores! A beautiful work goal! Comes out to the edge of the area. Clark! 2-2! Fantastic hit from Jack Clark. Great game with lots of tension and lots of drama, but it ended up all square on the south coast. Southampton 2, Ipswich Town 2.
Yeah, so it finished 2-2 between Ipswich and Southampton as, I could tell you what, I was hosting the Millwall Player Awards last night, and I could tell you what, we all knew when Southampton scored. The Lions' roar bellowed across the hospitality room for a couple of minutes. I was like, how am I going to get the room back together? But I was sat next to Alex Neil all night, and everyone just wanted Southampton to score because they need Ipswich to drop points. So, as things stand, Coventry, as we know, crowned champions, but who will be joining them in the Premier League for that automatic promotion place? It's so tight, isn't it? So you've got Ipswich, 81 points. They face QPR at home on Saturday for the last game of the season. Millwall are on 80 points. They face Oxford at home. Then you've got Middlesbrough on 79 points facing Wrexham away. So the permutations, boys, are Ipswich can go up with a win over QPR or match Millwall and Middlesbrough's results. Millwall need to beat already relegated Oxford and hope that Ipswich drop points. Middlesbrough need to beat Wrexham and hope that Millwall and Ipswich drop points. So it's all going to boil down to the final day.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely different class.
But listen.
Go on, Ally.
I'm just going to say, unless I've got it wrong, Wrexham can't afford to get beaten by Middlesbrough, or they won't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah,
they've got Derby and Hull right behind them.
What a fight. I mean, that's just ridiculous, that final day. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Clearly, I mean, if you'd offered Ipswich, Ray, Katie, at the start of the season, a home game, you know, to win the final game of the season to get promoted automatic, you would take it. But dear me, I mean, you mentioned being at Millwall last night, Katie. Tell me what a job Alex Neil has done at Millwall, Ray.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, with the budget they've got as well, compared to some other sides in that division, he's got to be up there with Manager of the Year. I know, obviously, Frank deserved it. And
he was nominated.
Yeah, absolutely. But what he's done with that Millwall team is brilliant. And you'd expect him to win this weekend, definitely win. But I expect
Ipswich to win,
as you rightly said, Ali, if you're going into the last, because we always couldn't work it out when Alan was doing the show. There was always favourites to win the league, Ipswich. We went, well, they're 12th in the league at the moment. So they've had an unbelievable run to get where they are now. And at that time, when there was 12th, if you said to any Ipswich fan, you're going to have one more game. You win that game, you'll be in the Premier League next year. They'll snap your hands off.
And to put into context the job that Alex Neil has done, Millwall have reached their highest ever points tally in the Championship ever. They've also, get this, finished in the top 6 for the first time in 24 for years. So I was there. It was a night celebration. I sat next to Alex Neil all night. He's a brilliant person as well as the manager. And he spoke about the unity and togetherness of this group of players. Jake Cooper was the one that got player of the season. 9 years he's been at Millwall. And I asked him if they get promoted, Millwall, is the mullet staying? Because he's now got this magnificent mullet. And he said yes. But it's all going to boil down to that final stage. So who do you think is going to get second?
I'm going to go Ipswich. I do believe they will beat QPR at home. I think there's so much that will be rocking Portman Road. I mean, the fans will really make it a big party if they do it. I just think they'd be too good. I think it was a really good result last night. I mean, Southampton, the team in form, to go to Southampton and it looked like they was going to get all 3 points at one stage. They scored late, didn't they, Ipswich? But I do believe Ipswich will get the job done. But Millwall, all they've got to do is pray, and it can happen. Look, we know the Championship's so unpredictable. So look, it'd be interesting to see what happens. And 12:30 they'll kick off.
Yes.
And it's the best thing about the last day of the season, and I've been involved in that when Man United were going for the title, and they won it in the end. They was playing Tottenham. We was playing Aston Villa. The murmurs around the fans when something happens in the other games.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant. You know exactly, as a player, you know, there's been a goal. There's been a goal somewhere. You can see them all talking to each other. There's a little bit of a... We're just keeping possession, and there's a big roar in the corner. They know there's a goal gone in, and you just don't know what way it's gone. So it's going to be a lot of that going on this weekend. So it should be really, really excitable for lots and lots of guys who are involved in them playoffs.
Ali, who do you think is going to get second?
I think they'll both win.
Yeah.
And obviously that will give the second automatic place to what do you call it?
Ipswich.
Ipswich. I just think, looking at it, as I said earlier, Katie, I think the pressure on them will be immense. I think both of them have had fantastic seasons. I really do, and I think both of them, will get the 3 points. But I think the second automatic place will go to Ipswich because I fancy them, with the pressure on them to get the result. And then you get into the playoffs, and we mentioned momentum that Southampton had. That, I mean, I watched them, Ray, Katie, in the Cup semi-final at Wembley against Manchester City. I was so impressed with them. I thought they were absolutely terrific. Scored a wonder goal, and then if they just a little bit unlucky with a deflected equaliser, if they just hung on for another 3 or 4 minutes, it could have been so different. And then you mentioned Middlesbrough, you mentioned Millwall. At this moment in time, crikey, Wrexham, Hull, Derby. I mean, get into those playoffs. I mean, we always look forward to playoffs at the end of the season, but we're going to get some end of season playoffs, particularly in the Championship. But ask me the question, Katie. I just think Ipswich. What about yourself?
Well, I was going to say, it might be. I think they will both win at the weekend, bearing in mind the opposition. But in terms of the race for sixth, let's just talk about that.
That's the most intriguing game. Wrexham Middlesbrough.
Well, exactly. So you've got sixth. You've got Wrexham on 70 points. They face Middlesbrough at home. Then you've got in seventh. You've got Hull on 70 points. Norwich at home they face, and then eighth Derby 69 points. Sheffield United at home. So Hull and Derby need to better Wrexham's result to clinch sixth. And then we're into the playoffs. And then it's who determines who goes up in the Premier League. So that's also going to boil down to the final day, Ray.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's such an exciting time. I remember I played for Hull right at the end of my career, and we ended up staying up. And then Dean Windash's famous goal, Ali, remember that one, the volley? At Wembley Stadium.
Mate. I remember it
and
well.
Hull City was in the Premier League. So that's the dream come true for certain clubs. And... I'm sure Wrexham will be hoping they can get something out of that game and win the game and get in those players. And what a story that would be if somehow they got into the Premier League. But
it's unbelievable, Rick. I'm looking at this again, Katie. Right? I mean, and that result last night. See, from Wrexham's point of view, they they definitely wanted Ipswich to go straight up, because that way Middlesbrough would have had no chance of getting up, so therefore they might have rested one or two for the playoffs. But Middlesbrough, unless I'm mistaken, on 79 points still have a chance of automatic promotion.
Yeah.
So they've got to go and win that game. Oh, I mean, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible, guys. So, I mean, all excitement we had last night, obviously the Champions League, but equally in the Championship, it is the league that never, ever fails to disappoint, guys. Never fails to disappoint. OK, thanks for that just now, Katie. Don't forget we'll catch all the action live on the talkSPORT network this Saturday. We are your home of the EFL. Now, coming up, Question: was last night the greatest game we have ever seen? We discussed that next, and also try and work out who on earth starts for France. Listen to this: who on earth starts for France at World Cup? They've Dembele, Mbappe, Doué, Elise, Barcola and Cherki. I mean, that's not fair, that, is it? More on that next.
Unai Emery to Real Madrid.
Oh dear.
My drink.
He's an experienced Spaniard whose heart is open to a move back home. He's enjoyed his time in the Midlands. His current partner is begging him to stay. But sometimes you just can't say no to something bigger and better. So will he ditch his babe in boring Birmingham for a magnificent madam in Madrid? Unai Emery to Real Madrid.
I don't think he'd want to go to
Are you
Real
swiping
Madrid.
left or swiping right?
Swiping left.
Hold on a minute. Did you?
Did
you just say? Did you just say?
Do you know what?
He wouldn't want to
Can I-
go
can I-
to
can I
Real.
explain my
No.
reasons?
No, you don't get to explain
You
your
just
reasons.
say he wouldn't want to
Can
go
I
to Real
explain my
Madrid.
reasons?
And the reason for that would be?
Because at Aston Villa, he runs the show. It's his club. Real Madrid is chaos. Look how the players treated Xavi Alonso.
It's Real Madrid.
Vinny Jr. walked off the pitch and went down the tunnel.
Real
And when he got taken off, it's not work for Arbeloa. It's a bit of a toxic job at the
It's the
moment.
biggest club in the world. One of them, certainly.
After Rangers.
After Glasgow Rangers, yes.
I don't think it works. I feel like what he's got going on at Aston Villa, he runs the club, he decides every decision to go to Real Madrid, and what, you could be there for 6 months.
Would you give up the chance to play for your country to become a global star of your sport and earn big money doing it? Well, that's the choice facing rugby players right now because of the proposed new R360 League. Led by 2003 World Cup winner Mike Tindall, it's already being backed by major investors. Its goal? Turn Rugby Union into franchises, not clubs, add some serious cash and a bit of razzmatazz. Or in their words, make the game more watchable, accessible and entertaining, especially for younger audiences. But there's been a huge pushback, a massive no way from the current game. So what exactly is R360 and why is it controversial? Rugby Union is facing challenges on a domestic level right now. There's huge financial instability across even top-tier clubs. The English game has seen leading clubs like Wasps, London Irish and Worcester go out of business in the top flight. The Welsh provincial game is in total disarray too. R360 says they would remove what are easily some clubs' biggest expenses, i.e. the big stars, and therefore make more of them profitable. So the plan is to inject a new lease of life into the sport. But how exactly? Top stars of the men and women's game playing for a franchise-based league with fixtures in cities like London, Miami, Tokyo and Lisbon. Each city would host a tournament featuring all the franchises during a short 3-month season. And though no players have officially confirmed, reports suggest around 200 have signed pre-contracts, some worth up to 750 grand. And if that's the pre-contract, you can imagine where the full wages will get to. Problem is, the rest of rugby says no. In fact, no way. The national unions from England, Scotland, Ireland, France, Italy, South Africa, New Zealand and Australia have declared any player joining R360 will be banned from test selection. World Rugby's also not approved the league. Many fear it echoes football's failed European Super League, a top-down, money-driven idea that could damage the sport's traditions. So is it dead already? Well, Rugby Union is at a crossroads. Some may be against it, but we know others are being swayed by the cash. So will everything work itself out? Or after the European Super League and Live Golf, have we got sport's next big scandal on our hands?
love it. Absolutely love it. 7:05, Wednesday the 29th of April. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Shop the upgrade event today and get an extra £500 when you part exchange your car. Do not miss your chance to boost your valuation. I'm coming to you this morning live from Madrid, and Ray Parlour is in the studio at London Bridge. And on the way this morning, this is what we've got for you. It's all Arsenal here in talkSPORT this morning. As well as Ray will be joined by two-time FA Cup winner with Arsenal, Jack Wilshere, and big Arsenal fan Laura Woods. Woodsy will be making a swift return to the show this morning. We'll also be discussing this transfer pile-up for Manchester City with Danny Mills. Is Pep overreacting? I'm not so sure. And after last night's draw between Southampton and Ipswich, we'll look ahead to what will be an exhilarating last day in the chase for promotion in the Championship with none other than Neil Warnock. But now, the question we're all asking, it's in everybody's lips, was last night the best Champions League semi-final ever?
Big deep breath. Here goes Kane, right-footed, and he scores! Kvaratskhelia raiding down the inside left. He's into the penalty area now, shimmying feet, and a low shot is brilliant! Oh, what a magnificent goal! Dembele with the corner, headed in! Elise right through the middle here has rammed it into the net! It's 2-2! Oh, this is the chaos football in the Champions League that we were hoping for. Straight run up from the edge of the penalty area, hits it right-footed, and he beats Manuel Neuer! Hakimi across goal, two players leave it, but Kvaratskhelia is there to lash it home! Ousmane Dembele, chance to make it 5! He has! Finish floats in the free kick, downward header in! Dio Upamecano! Harry Kane with an early ball over the top. What a pass to Luis Diaz. Brings it down onto the right foot. It's 5-4!
Wow, well that's just utterly ridiculous. What a game of football.
Yeah, we saw a 9-goal thriller from the two best attacking teams in Europe, if not the world. PSG take a 5-4 lead, heading to Munich next week in what will be an absolutely mouth-watering second leg. But to give us more, let's bring in a man who follows this PSG team more than anyone. I'm normally sitting beside him in that stand, and I wasn't sitting beside him last night, and I was devastated. It's French football expert, friend of the show, my great friend, Julien Laurent. Julien, talk to me. What a game of football.
Hello, my friend. Good morning, everyone. Incredible. Ali, incredible, really. I mean, we've been at the Parc des Princes together so many times in the past. The atmosphere, the team that Luis Enrique has built, those players, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Doué, the fullbacks, everything you want. And they found a team against them that was as good as them going forward, really. And that's fantastic. It's total football. Remember the Rinus Michels, Johan Cruyff teams. Then Johan Cruyff himself. I mean, the game last night, remember when Cruyff said one day, I would rather win 5-4 than 1-0. That's exactly what we had yesterday. For me, the greatest semi-final ever. We had some good ones recently. Remember last season, of course, the Inter Milan-Barcelona one. 2022, the Real Madrid-Man City one. There have been some really, really amazing semi-finals through the years. And even going back a few years. But for me, last night, I had just everything. Going forward, you can talk about the defense, of course, and balance of teams and everything you want. But when you've got forwards like those two teams have, I think it's just impossible to defend.
Julian, I've got to say, it was remarkable to see how the talent last night in such a big game as well, in a semi-final where sometimes can be a little bit cagey, but both teams went out to win. Probably from the PSG point of view, couple of injuries. Hakimi looked like he's pulled his hamstring, could be massive for PSG in that second leg and maybe the World Cup.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Hakimi and right at the end there on trying to counter press again and defend. Yeah. Near the Bayern box in the 85th minute of whatever it was. Then PSG already made all their substitutions, so they could not take him off. So he had to play as a right winger, but could not move that much. That's also part of it. Obviously, what we liked yesterday, I think before kickoff, all of us is that. We had two teams at full strength. Okay, Gnabry had been injured, but if you replace him by Musiala, it's still pretty amazing. So two teams were at full strength. Whereas lately, we've had some of the big games with players missing. This time we had everybody. It looks like Hakimi might miss the second leg, which is already next week. I mean, we are lucky because we get a second one of this as early as in 7 days' time. But yeah, it would be a shame for PSG if he wasn't there. It's hugely important, both in possession and out of possession.
It's funny, Julian, I don't know whether you agree or not, it's probably the least I've seen Mendes and Hakimi get forward. I mean, I normally watch that Hakimi arriving in the centre forward position. It's probably the least amount of time because Bayern were certainly attacking and putting them under a lot of pressure. I mean, I just think he's absolutely world class, Hakimi. I really, really do. Now we've all been raving about the game, Julian, right, and correctly so. But just to give it, all the credit, there's a couple of wonderful quotes from Luis Enrique. A couple that grabbed me, and I want to read them out to you, boys. He said, it's for me the best game I've ever been involved in as a manager. And this is the quote. I love this one, Julian. Luis Enrique said last night, "We deserve to win, we deserve to lose, and we deserve to draw." And that just about summed it up, doesn't it?
Absolutely perfect. I mean, you could see some of his reactions on the bench anyway. I think there was a bit of worry at time, especially early on, before the Kane goal, just after Olise can make it 2-0 up. Remember that? He's one-on-one with Safonov. Yeah. Safonov makes a really good save. If that goes in at
what a save it is with his right hand, mate.
Great save. Great save. But in transition, recovering the ball really high for Bayern and then going in 3 passes in the PSG box. And then you look ecstatic at 5-2. But then I think we all knew at 5-2 that the game was not over. There were more games to it. And then even at 5-4, Mayulu, the young PSG forward, hits the crossbar as well, or the angle of the crossbar on the post. But you're right. It was one of those nights, one of those games that we will still talk about in 50 years' time, regardless of who qualifies next week. Really, it's one of those games. And Kompany is a young coach compared to Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique has 20 years of coaching ahead of him. And yeah, look at what Vincent is doing already. And I know it helps when you've got Olise and Diaz and Kane in those kind of form. I mean, Olise last night again, and we love Nuno Mendes, maybe the best left back in the world. But Olise made him look like an under-19, really, at times. And yes, Olise missed that chance. He was a bit quieter in the second half, really. Luis Diaz was incredible, and I think Liverpool fans probably were thinking, wow, we wish we still had him at Anfield in our team, because that first touch on the fourth Bayern goal and his second is just ridiculous, isn't it? So it's just one of those, really. But what Kompany's been doing, and again, we've talked a lot this season as well about evolution of football and what new ideas and new things and more control and physicality and athleticism, all of that. But we don't have to go again into that. Just yesterday were 2 coaches with different philosophies to other coaches. Even them a bit different, but still quite similar in the way they want their team to play. High-risk football last night, of course. That's why we had 9 goals. Super high-risk, maybe more risky than a lot of other top teams in Europe. But it was just so refreshing to see as well.
Julian, I've got to say, both teams deserve to be in the final after last night. It was such a great spectacle to watch. But who would you put favourites now to get through to the final? Because obviously Paris taking a 1-goal lead to Munich, but Munich as well being at home. Who would you put as favourites?
That's a great question. I think we can go again, and we're going to all watch again the game from last night to give more analysis. But we're going to have the same again next week, I think. The PSG's slight lead of that 1 goal, I think, is cancelled by the fact that the second leg is in Munich, like you said, Ray. So for me, you almost start that second leg at 0-0 because I think Bayern are going to score inevitably. But I think PSG will score again. They will have to be as good as they were at Arsenal last season, for example, at Anfield, when they both won those games 1-0, even if at times they struggle defensively. It won't be a 1-0 game next week. We'll have another 3-2, another 4-3. I don't think another 5-4, but maybe. I still think that just Bayern, especially without Hakimi, I think Bayern probably, for me, and as much as I would love PSG to go through again to the final, obviously, I just feel Bayern, even yesterday, even at 5-2 down, they never looked out of it. They're just so good. Yeah. Even if they can be exposed defensively, I think they're great. So I would go, unfortunately, for Bayern's slight favourite.
Oh, you've stunned me there, Julian. You have stunned me there.
The heart is PSG, listen, of course, but the heads,
Of course. Listen, I'm not letting you away unless you solve Didier Deschamps' problem. Mbappe, Dembele, Olise, Doué, Cherki, Barcola. How's he going to fit them in his team, mate?
I don't know, mate. It's a great one. The one I would ask you, and it's the one I know we don't have much time, but for another time maybe. We saw Olise yesterday, and again, especially in the first half, on his right-hand side. his favorite, his favorite position, the best in the world with Lamine, if you want. Okay, the two best in the world in that position. Deschamps has moved him into number 10 for the national team, right? Where he's very good, and his goal yesterday comes from a number 10 position, very much inside, on the edge of the box, all of that, great.
Yeah.
Would you change it really for the World Cup? Would you not want to let him in that right-hand side position where he's so good at club level to do the same at international level? That's where Deschamps is great, and I've been all for it if he plays him as a 10. But part of me is thinking, like, don't touch him, don't move him, just leave him there.
Yeah. Julian, do you know what it is? I'm going to tell you something.
It's a good problem to have.
It's a wonderful problem to have, mate. A wonderful problem to have.
That's true.
Listen, mate, I look forward to seeing you next week. We're going to enjoy Arsenal tonight. Julian, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you, guys.
And I'll see you next week.
See you next week, man. Bye-bye.
Okay, coming up... after last night, Katie is going to make a blind rank the greatest Champions League games we have ever seen. Is last night's your best ever? Must come into the reckoning, surely. 03717 223344 is the number to call to have your say.
Javi Simmons, it's not Molyneux. You can't blame Spurs' pitch for that. But I have to say, mate, we've got to have a look at this medical team. I think they changed it last year.
But it's a medical team. But so there's two parts to it. You and I both know, right? Strength and conditioning and training. But there has to be joined up thing. The medical team only deal with injured players. It's not their fault they're injured. The medical team try and get them out. Where the medical team need to be looked at is the length in time that these players are out for. Some of these players, what's happened to Kulusevski? Is he still even with us? I mean, he has just completely disappeared. I know Maddison's been on the bench recently.
Yeah, but he's not fit. He can't play.
But you need these players back. That's where the medical team come into it. But in terms of picking up injuries, you can't blame the medical team for picking up injuries. That comes down to training.
Isn't there injury prevention? I don't know. I mean,
And they sent us a picture that made me feel so ashamed. We look like hoarders.
Chris Marshall!
Yeah, I'm actually recovering from an accident right now.
Well, you've landed loose today, haven't you?
Yeah, don't shake the arm, Chris, too much.
You're with Danny Boyle, who's like the maddest director ever. He's got so much energy. He's like you.
Got some money to spend.
Okay, we're alive and kicking this morning. Beg your pardon. I got this. We're an hour ahead. I'm getting all mixed up. I'm getting all flustered with the times. We're an hour ahead. It is 7:19, Wednesday the 29th of April. We've been asking the question this morning: did last night's incredible game put the Premier League to shame? I'm not sure I'd go that strong, but anyway, that's what Jason Gundy thinks. 03717 223344 is the number to call. And somebody that's done that is Daniel. Daniel, thanks for calling us this morning. A very good morning to you. What did you think of the game?
Good morning to you both. Thanks for having me on. I love that game. I was up at 3:15 this morning, and I didn't go to bed until after that game had finished. I'm absolutely shattered now, but I enjoyed every minute of that game. I couldn't turn it off. My wife actually said to me, am I more excited about this game than I was having my kids? it was incredible, honestly. And I hear what Candy said last night about the Premier League. That, to me, that game last night was the Premier League 5 years ago. Yeah, the pace of the game has gone in the Premier League. I think that's where he means it was better than what the Premier League offers now. It's a different game nowadays, what we watch in the Prem. It's very slow, it's very possession-based, and some people call it boring football, some people call it possession football. But last night was unbelievable game. Unbelievable.
I think you're right, Daniel, and I'll tell you what, Ray, listen to Daniel's comments here. One of the things that I did notice, and I mentioned it on first 15 to it, and it continued, the level of fitness the guys have was absolutely incredible. But there was no time MD was given on the ball at all. There was always somebody pressing you, and all over the pitch, particularly Bayern. I mean, you look at PSG and they normally pass teams to death, right? But Bayern did not allow them, and they were high pressing, they were pressing in the middle of the pitch. There was no time at all, Ray.
Do you know what it is, Ali, as well? They take chances. They take chances with forward passing, which in the Premier League you could argue too many backward passing, too many safe passes, sideways and backwards, sideways and backwards. And with that game last night, you've been taught first when you win the ball back, first pass forward. If you can get it through the lines, and that's what they did last night. That's what they did. Exactly what they did. You know how quick it was between winning the ball back and you're on attack then, and that's why it was such a great game to watch, because it's easy to win a ball back, then go sideways, and then suddenly they get back into position again, and then you can't break them down. That last night was like a basketball game, wasn't it? It was like once you win the ball back, the first throw forward in a basketball match, you're attacking the opposition again. And that is exactly what happened last night with both sides. When they won the ball back, the first pass was so good, it put their team on the attack. So that's why it was such a great game to watch.
It was magical. Absolutely different class, pal. Katie's back with us. Katie, I'm guessing you agree with what Ray said there.
Yes, I do.
Let's hope they can forward pass tonight a little bit more.
That's the correct answer, Katie.
Short and simple. Come on, Arsenal. Let's have a good performance. I don't think we're going to beat last night, though. But after last night's incredible game in the Champions League, 5-4 to PSG, the question is, was it the best Champions League game ever? Well, to find out, we thought we'd blind rank some of the very best Champions League games.
I know the best one.
Time. Well, we're going to put them to you. The rules are simple. I'll fire 5 different games at you, and you have to rank them 1 to 5. So, listeners, you can
Liverpool,
play
AC
along
Milan.
as well. We'll get to it very shortly, Ray. But the trick is, you don't know what game is coming next, so choose wisely. Here comes your first game. Right.
What a pass to Luis Diaz, brings it down onto the right foot. It's 5-4. This is just ridiculous.
So obviously we had to start with last night's game. PSG 5, Bayern Munich 4. Where does that rank on 1 to 5 for you? Ali first and then Ray.
No messing about. Number 1, best I've seen. Might be the best game I've ever seen. There you go. Never mind Champions League. It might just be the best game I've ever seen. I'm not messing about. Did the same yesterday, Katie. Straight in, number 1.
Oh, he's gone big, Ray.
Yeah, no, I can see, Ali, where I'm going to go number 2, because you know why? Just because I said that number 1, because it was a final.
Yeah, there's quite a few big games coming, Ali. I think you've gone too early.
I've got number 2.
Okay, here comes your second game.
The ball coming down from on high, and Dwight York's in on goal, and Andy Cole will score the goal that takes Manchester United through to Barcelona and the Champions League final.
Okay, yes, so Andy Cole scoring the winning goal back in 1999 to send United to the Champions League final. They, of course, won the treble that year. So, Ali, where does that rank for you?
3.
Ooh. He's gone big too early.
I don't know. We don't know who's in it, do we?
No.
Well, I'm going to have to go
one
lower.
we've not got a clue.
I'm going to go number 4 then.
Okay, you're going number 4. Ali, I think you've gone too early here. Here comes your third game.
Oh, saved by Dina Xabi Alonso! And mission impossible is accomplished. Liverpool were 3-0 down 5 minutes ago. Andrei Shevchenko must score. He must score. He saved it! The European Cup is returning to England and to Anfield. Liverpool
There we go. Arguably the greatest comeback of all time. Liverpool were 3-0 down to AC Milan at half-time of the 2005 Champions League final. They scored 3 second-half goals to take the game to penalties, which they won. So, Ally McCoist, where is this one going?
Yes. I was at that game, Ray, Katie, and by the way, I just couldn't. I still to this day cannot believe Liverpool won that game. One of the most incredible games of football I've ever been at in my life. Number 2.
I told you gone early.
Well, that's why I went number 2. Look, that last night was probably better to watch, but to come back...
Yes!
To come back against a team of AC Milan's quality, and they could defend much better in those days, the Italians. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
To get 3 goals in that second half, it's got to be number 1 for me.
There we go.
It's got to be, and it's a final as well, to win that trophy.
Well, we've still got 2 more games to bring you. Here comes your 4th game.
Ball play forward, it's Llorente, flick round the corner. Oh, Lucas Moura! He's done it! He has done it! He's won it! Lucas Moura's got a hat-trick! Tottenham have done it with the last kick of the game! It is the most extraordinary climax you could ever wish to see! Tottenham are in the final! It's another English miracle!
Well, lots of Tottenham fans will probably put this at number 1. What a famous night this was back in 2019. Needing a goal to send them to the final, Lucas Moura. What a night for him.
I was out there for Arsenal. Arsenal were playing that night. They were playing that night.
Oh, wow.
I remember that.
He popped up with his 3rd goal of the night in the 96th minute to send them through past Ajax. So, Ali, where is this one going?
Hey, what are you doing to me?
I did warn you.
You forgot what he's done.
And it's not over yet.
Oh, I know it's not. Tottenham fans, you're having a bad season. I'm going to depress you even further. I'm going 5.
Oh, he's going 5 for Lucas Moura. Wow, okay.
I've gone 6.
Well, I'm just trying to think what's coming. I'm
trying to think what's he got? What is the last one? That's what we've got to gamble on, isn't it?
Exactly.
I don't know. And that was an amazing night. I remember that very, very well. I was out with the Arsenal fans. We was watching it, all celebrating when it was.
I was going to say, did you cheer? You must have celebrated.
No, we didn't celebrate when Tottenham got the winner. No, we didn't celebrate. Anyway, I put that down as because I don't know what you got next. I'm going to go number 5 on that one as well.
Okay, here comes your 5th and final game. Here we go.
Hope it's a good one.
Beckham to swing this one in again. Sheringham wins it. Solskjaer with the goal for Manchester United. He's only gone and won the Champions League for them. The impossible just became reality.
Well, there we go. Perhaps the greatest moment in Manchester United history. Teddy Sheringham in the 91st minute, then Solskjaer in the 93rd to come from behind to win United the 1999 Champions League against Bayern Munich and Barcelona. So, Ali, where now?
Yes.
Where's that go?
I'm standing by it.
What's he got left, Ali?
I'm standing by it. I've got 4th. And do you know something? I'll tell you right now, in terms of drama, that one and Liverpool-Milan are probably 1 and 2, right? But in terms of a game to watch for 90 minutes, I'm standing by it last night.
Well, you've got to.
So unfortunately, unfortunately, I'm only bringing that in at number 4.
So, Ray, you've got to put that at number 3.
I've got number 3, which ain't bad, really.
That's
when you
not
look
bad.
at
I think Ray's done better here. So, Ali, let's just reveal yours.
Oh, do you indeed?
The Arsenal bias again.
Here we go. So, Ali,
that's diabolical.
Ali, you've gone with PSG last night's at number 1, then Istanbul 2005 at number 2, 3 Juventus, Man United, then Man United, Bayern Munich 99 at 4, and then Ajax Tottenham at number 5. Now, Ray, I think you've done better here.
I've gone Liverpool.
You've done Liverpool.
Then I've got the game last night.
At number 2.
Then I've got the Manchester United.
Bayern Munich 99.
Yeah, Solskjaer and Teddy Sheringham. 4, I've got the Juventus semi-final, isn't it?
Yep.
Which the final's got to be above that.
Yeah. And then obviously you've got Tottenham at number 5.
Yeah. Well, Tottenham, that was an unbelievable game as well.
That was an incredible game.
If you're looking above, I don't think Tottenham fans would be too. They would have put probably that as 5 as well.
Yeah. Ali, anything you would change about your top 5?
No, Ali.
No, I'm standing by it. I'm standing by it. There's definitely a London Bridge bias against me this morning over there, Katie. I'm willing to let it go. I really enjoyed that.
The only thing he's going to change. The only thing he's going to change is the weather.
Anyway, another weather update with Ally McCoist. It's okay.
Oh, you better believe it. If only I could, guys. Now, coming up, we're going to turn our attention to reports that Jose Mourinho is the preferred choice. This is incredible, actually, for Real Madrid next season. More on that coming next.
We'll keep our eye on Newcastle. Members of PIF travel into Newcastle this week for their annual meeting with the club's departmental heads. How high on the agenda do you think Eddie Howe's name is going to be, Alex?
I think it has to be pretty high because it's been a disappointing season. There's no two ways about that. They're a lot lower down the Premier League table than he would have expected at the start of the campaign. Looks like they're not going to get European football at all next season, which might help them in the long run because I think they found it a struggle balancing Champions League and domestic ambitions. But if I was Eddie Howe, I'd have some questions for the owners. You know, there's players who want out of that football club. Anthony Gordon being one. Sandro Tonali, I don't think it was a coincidence that his agent was leaking stories that Arsenal were interested in January. Tino Livramento, I'm told, has no intention of signing a new contract. But they've got to handle this summer a lot better than they did last. The Alexander Isak saga was allowed to drift on for far too long. If they were going to sell him all along, as I understand was the case, they should have done it much earlier in the window. They would have been in a better position to get top targets, because if Newcastle fans think that Nick Voltemada and Johan Wilshere were anywhere near the top of Newcastle's list of potential options at the start of the summer, they're deluded. I think the recruitment was poor. I think the handling of the Isak situation was poor. And I would say be careful what you wish for, because
every spring, sports fans in Europe come together to celebrate arguably rugby's biggest annual tournament, the Six Nations. But why is it the home nations, plus France and Italy, and no one else? It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. A few years later, when they could field a team, Wales decided they'd host England and an idea was thought up. With Ireland keen, they formed the Home International Championship, which ran from 1883. In 1910, France was allowed to join, as they were developing into a serious rugby nation, and thus the Five Nations was born. France had an interesting history with the championship. They were actually booted out for paying their players in 1931, when the home nations were keen to keep it amateur. After World War II, though, France were let back in, but it remained a closed shop for more than 50 years. And when another country was let in, it was only really because the Five Nations hand had been forced. Italy was developing into a serious contender, beating Scotland, France and Ireland twice in the same year, meaning in 1999 officials got together and said yes to Italy, and it became the Six Nations. So what changes, if any, come next? 7 nations? 8? A promotion and relegation system? Or should we leave it alone and let it remain the great rugby tradition it's become?
Okay, 7:34. It is Wednesday, the 29th of April. This, of course, is talkSPORT Breakfast with our very good friends at Arnold Clark. By use can get a free 2-year service plan plus get an extra £500 when you part exchange. Shop the upgrade event today. I'm with you here in the Madrid Hotel in Madrid. Looking forward to the game tonight between Arsenal and Atletico Madrid, and obviously Ray is in the studio in London. Right, some incredible reports have been coming out of Madrid in the past few days suggesting that a certain special one, surely not, could be making an incredible return to the Bernabeu.
Please don't call me arrogant, because what I'm saying is true. I think I'm a special one.
Championship winning season for John Terry and Jose Mourinho.
3 for me and 2 for them. Respect. I deserve the yellow card because I was rude, but I was rude with an idiot.
Jose Mourinho is a European winner again.
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. What was the result? 3-0. Do you know what this means? 3-0. But also mean 3 premierships, and I won more premierships alone than the other 19 managers together.
I mean, it's unbelievable. What a morning we're having. I'm hearing Donald Trump say that somebody agrees with him more than Donald Trump, which I can't believe. That's just impossible, by the way. And then we've got the great one possibly returning back to Real Madrid, which Ray would be, I tell you what, it would be some news, wouldn't it? It'd be brilliant for us. Let's be honest about it.
It's an unbelievable story when you think about it. I mean, he's had an unbelievable career, hasn't he, Jose? And to get an opportunity maybe to go back to Real Madrid would be, you know, I'm sure he would jump at the chance, I'm sure, because he does get on with Perez quite well, doesn't he? I mean, the president, so they've got a really good relationship. And the problem you always have with managers, who's out there to come in and do a job, and he knows what he probably gets out of Jose. Whether he's got the tactics, whether he's got the management skills now, I don't know. But certainly he'd come in and ruffle a few feathers in that Madrid squad, I'm sure, to get him going again.
You better believe it,
but it would be a very interesting appointment if it did happen, Ali.
It'd be incredible, mate. I mean, Arbeloa took over when Xabi Alonso departed Los Blancos earlier in the season, and Real Madrid president, as we mentioned, Florentino Perez, has reportedly zeroed in on Jose as a permanent replacement. Last night in the sports bar, Jason Cundy questioned whether Madrid should be going back to an ex.
Jose will always live in Chelsea fans' heart, okay? Because what he achieved and what he'd done for that football club. But Jose changed as a man. As the game has changed, I don't doubt he still has a quality. But I just find it crazy.
What do you mean?
Well, they've gone from, Real Madrid have gone from moving away from Zidane, okay? Then they went to Ancelotti. And then they brought in Alonso, right? They wanted to go in a different direction, slightly, moving with this slightly younger head coach. And now they're going back to Jose again. They sound a bit lost. Sounds a little bit like they're going back to what they know.
Right, well, I'm delighted to say joining us now to give us all the latest on this, whether the special one really is making the return to Madrid. So a very good morning to Athletics Madrid writer Dermot Corrigan. Dermot, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. How are you, first of all?
Morning, Dermot.
I think we've lost him, Ray. I mean, getting back to Mourinho, we'll hopefully try and get Dermot back online. Getting back to Mourinho, I understand what Jason's saying, Ray, because you look at Jose's sides, you wouldn't imagine Jose's sides would play in the way, shape or form that we saw last night, for example, do you? But then, no. I suppose in many ways, well, I tell you what, we've got Dermot back. Dermot, are you there, my friend? Good morning to you.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Good morning, Dermot.
Going really well, Dermot. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Ray and I were just discussing here. I mean, is it feasible? Is it possible? How would the Madrid fans take to this decision?
It's possible because it's Florentino Perez, and Florentino Perez is the guy who makes the big decisions at Real Madrid, and Florentino Perez has always really liked Mourinho. Like, Mourinho's 3 years in charge of Madrid, like over a decade ago now, were super intense, super controversial. Mourinho was fighting with everybody, with the referees, with other coaches, with his own players. By the end of it, his own players, he'd fallen out with most of the players in the dressing room. We had the big row with Iker Casillas, even with Ronaldo at the end, his fellow countryman. But Florentino likes that kind of thing. He thinks if you're sticking up for Real Madrid, for the values of Real Madrid, or for Florentino himself as well, then he likes it. He is in a tight spot as well at the minute. They tried Alonso, that didn't work out. They went for Arbeloa, promoting him from the youth team, that didn't work out. And there's not another obvious guy to come in. Florentino likes going back to previous managers as well. He did it with Ancelotti. He did it with Zidane. He wants people who know the club, who understand the club. And as you guys were saying there, he wants somebody who'll shake things up a bit. Madrid haven't won anything for the last couple of years. There's a lot of big egos in the dressing room. There's a feeling that the kind of around Madrid or within Florentino Perez, there's a feeling that the modern manager with all his tactics and his really intense game plans and his counter-pressing and all this kind of stuff isn't really needed. That what you need is somebody to motivate the team, to go out there, to entertain as well, to draw attention to the club. And Mourinho ticks those boxes. So it's not a done deal yet. I think it might be a while before everything gets sorted. It could be the summer before something happens. But we've reported on the Athletic that, Florentino definitely sees Mourinho as his number one target at the minute. And yeah, it set off a lot of alarms around Madrid. You saw Iker Casillas yesterday tweeting popcorn emojis. So that's just the start of what the craziness that would happen.
I'm just looking at some of the egos, Dermot. You got some big ones. Mbappe, obviously, Vinicius Junior. I'm looking at the style of play. I'm sure he wouldn't change his style of play this late in his managerial career, would he, Mourinho? Would it suit those sort of guys?
I don't think so.
No.
There's a lot of the difficult thing for a Madrid coach over the last couple of years has been trying to get Mbappe and Vinicius and Bellingham and Rodrigo as well, when he's fit, all into the same team and get them to be able to attack well and also to defend well, to defend everybody together. Maybe Mourinho can light a fire under them, and short term he'd be able to get them running around, intense, driving into tackles, but over a full season or over the long term, it's hard to see it working out.
Damn, I'm going to ask you, mate, obviously moving on to tonight's game. Right, we've been talking about it all morning. After what we saw last night, right, It was one of the most incredible games that I've ever seen. But the one thing that it won't do, as good as it was, it will not influence particularly Diego Simeone and what he has and what plans he has for Atletico Madrid this evening.
Yeah, for sure. Like, Atletico have been building up to this game for a long time. Simeone was talking about yesterday, it's been 9 years since they've been in a semi-final. And there's a huge amount of anticipation around the club, a huge amount of tension around Atletico as well. They did great to knock out Barcelona in the last round, and now they've been focusing on this. But it is a different Atletico team from that team 9 years ago. They don't have the big defenders that they had before. So I think they're going to go for Arsenal tonight, especially in the first half. With it's going to be a huge atmosphere at the stadium, a lot of noise. They're going to try and press up the pitch, try and force Arsenal back into mistakes. Whether Arsenal handle it or not is the question. Maybe they will be able to handle it. Arsenal are a big, tough team as well. But I don't think we'll see the 5-4 again that we saw last night. But I think there will be goals. I don't think it'll be a 0-0 where both teams are sitting back and waiting to see if something happens. I think it'll be physical. It'll be intense. There'll be a lot of hard running, a lot of individual battles in the game. Maybe not the same kind of attacking quality that we saw last night, but I still think it'll be a cracker.
Dale, just a quick before I'll let you go, and thanks again for your time. In terms of the Real Madrid lineup, I mean, there's all sorts of. We were hearing rumours that Alvarez was carrying an injury, Lookman was carrying an injury. Have you any news on those two in particular for us?
Yeah, I think Alvarez is going to be okay. Alvarez is definitely going to start. He's not at 100%, and he's played so many games over the last 3 or 4 years, Alvarez, that he's. Yeah. But when the big games come around, and in the Champions League especially, he's been tremendous. He hasn't been great in La Liga. He's been rested a lot in La Liga, but in the huge against Spurs, against Barca, he was great. Lookman, I don't think is going to start. I think Lookman is his injury issues are a little bit more serious. Nico Gonzalez was lined up to start instead of him. He's probably out as well. So it looks like probably Baena, or maybe Simeone looks to pack the midfield and plays a Koke or another midfielder in there alongside Koke. So we'll have to see.
Looking forward to it, Dermot. Thanks again for your time this morning.
Thanks,
Enjoy the game
Dermot.
tonight.
Cheers, guys. Always fun.
All the best. Now, still to come on breakfast this morning.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Go big on landscaping with Travis Perkins. Find everything you need at travisperkins.co.uk.
Yeah, we've got a big show ahead for you here on talkSPORT ahead of the semi-final live, of course, which is on talkSPORT. Luton Town manager and two-time FA Cup winner with Arsenal, Jack Wilshere, will be joining us shortly. And massive Arsenal fan, my old pal Laura Woods will be here as well. Arsenal fans, would you take a 0-0 right now? 03717 2233 44. That's the number to call, of course, to have your say. That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins. Big thanks here to Real Madrid writer, Atletico Madrid writer as well, Dermot Corrigan of The Athletic.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. From fence panels to decking or paving packs to topsoil, Travis Perkins has all your landscaping needs covered.
I'll bet you're delighted that I'm a Celebrity's all over. You've got to be thrilled at that.
I thought I'd gone to the wrong show. I thought it was the Jeremy Cole show. I've never seen so much aggravation. I thought I'm in the wrong studio here. And all the crowd is shouting things. Oh, it was a nightmare.
Oh, I bet it was.
I thought, don't, I'm not a celebrity. Get me out of here. That's what I was going to say. It was David was, he was in good form, David Hay. But listen, Andy, we've been brought up in dressing rooms. You've been around football, you two guys, Andy, all your life. Banter. This wasn't strong banter compared to what you've had in dressing rooms over the years. You just get on with it, didn't you?
Yeah.
It all got out of hand. People couldn't take a bit of banter and become a big issue.
Yeah, no, it's a shame because again, great personalities, great characters in there.
Yeah,
but it's been unbelievable what's been.
I was up in Scotland yesterday.
No way, where were you, mate?
I was at the Hibs Hearts game.
Oh, how did you enjoy it?
I loved it. What a.
And they sent us a picture that made me feel so ashamed. We look like hoarders.
Chris Marshall!
Yeah, I'm actually recovering from an accident right now.
You've landed loose today, haven't you?
Yeah, don't shake the arm, Chris, too much.
You're with Danny Boyle, who's like the maddest director ever. He's got so much energy. He's like you.
Like it, 7:50, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. It is, of course, Wednesday, the 29th of April. I'm coming to you live from Madrid, and Ray is in the studio at London Bridge. Now, back to domestic football. Reports broke yesterday that Manchester City are not happy that they've been left with 4 games in 11 days following the rescheduling of 2 key matches in the race for the Premier League title. City's frustrations stem from the length of time it has taken for the Palace game to be confirmed, and feel the principle of rescheduling games at the earliest moment has not been followed. Now, to give us more on this, we're going to bring in former City defender, good friend of the show, Danny Mills. Danny, good morning, mate. How are you?
How you doing, Danny?
Good morning, gents. You well?
We're in top form after that last night, Danny, and we'll get a wee bit on that last night, and you can let us know what you think. But we'll start with City, if I may, please. Have City got a point here, Danny, or should they just be getting on with it?
No, get on with it, Ali. You know what's going to happen at the start of the season. But and I've always said, everybody moans about fixture congestion and how many games you have to play. And I've always said the season starts on the same day and it finishes on the same day. So you play the same amount of games in the same amount of time. Sometimes you get lucky, you get 2 or 3 weeks off because you miss an FA Cup game or someone else is playing and you get some rest. There's internationals, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have to play 2 or 3 games back to back. But the average across the whole season is it starts and finishes at the same time. And if you're successful, you have to play more games. Fact. So you have a bigger squad. It's not that difficult.
Just looking at it, Danny, I mean, maybe you could have one little argument with the Bournemouth game because you play the FA Cup final against Chelsea, Man City, and it's Tuesday night. And now you don't play till Sunday. The last game of the season's on a Sunday. So maybe they could maybe push that back to the Wednesday. I don't know what reason they're playing on a Tuesday. But it's a situation now. I mean, as you rightly said, this time of year, you're not training that much anyway, are you? I mean, they're banging form. You can't wait for the next game. Really, you're ticking over, and you'd probably rather play games and train.
The thing is, Ray, we've both done it. You drop into a league down and you play Saturday, Tuesday pretty much every week. Sometimes you get lucky, you play Friday, but then you play Wednesday, Saturday. We've all done it where we've played Champions League Sunday or Euro Sunday, then a Tuesday. In the EFL, you have to play pretty much Friday, Monday over the bank holiday. Same thing over Christmas. This year, the Premier League got a much bigger break at Christmas time. They weren't playing 2 games in 3 days. It swings and roundabouts. It evens itself out over the course of the season. I don't know about you, Ray, but you play Sunday, you have Monday off, play Saturday, whatever it is, and then you're ready to go again. You have a big squad. Yeah. It's not a huge problem. It's if you're going to be successful, you have to do it. I'm pretty sure, Ray, when you were Champions League, international, you'd have played 50, 60 games a season. No problem.
No, you're right. I mean,
Danny,
go on, Ali.
I was just going to say, Ray, here's one for you, Danny. The flip side of the coin, Arsenal play tonight, and unless I'm mistaken, they'll then have 3 games in 6 days. Here's my question to you. Do you think there's maybe an element of City just trying to wind 1 or 2 people up and maybe put a wee bit of pressure on Arsenal?
I think there's maybe I think it's Mourinho-esque, and let's deflect from anything but the team. Let's get everybody talking about everything else. Let's get somebody talking about something completely different, because there's every chance the pressure will be on City. Because if Arsenal go and win both their games, whatever you think, playing catch-up is difficult. Having to win does put a bit of extra pressure on you, no matter what. Now, if Arsenal don't win those games, it might be a little bit easier for City. But I think there's a little bit of deflection. Let's take away from the fact that we might have to win these games. And also, City haven't had Champions League, don't forget as well. Arsenal got Champions League in this period. So, I think there's maybe a little bit of deflection. So City Pep can just ease the pressure on his players a little bit.
Danny, I've got to ask you about John Stones, because in the papers today, this is it. Unbelievable career. I mean, 16 trophies he won at Man City, which is amazing, really, when you think about it. And another player we've got to mention, Bernardo Silva. So they're losing 2 very, very experienced players in the summer, but they've been great servants to Man City.
Oh, John Stone's been exceptional. Obviously came in, I guess, kind of like the new sort of Rio Ferdinand in his ability to play with a ball. A different type of centre back, to what we've probably been used to. Incredible on the ball. But Bernardo Silva, I mean, what a player he is. Absolutely outstanding. Can play in several different positions. I've seen him run games, from start to finish. His energy levels, his technique. I think just an exceptional footballer with an incredible football brain. They're going to be missed, and it's going to be very, very difficult to replace them. So I think, City's recruitment is going to have to be really, really good over the summer to get anywhere near replacing those two guys for sure.
Danny, I cannot let you leave the building without answering this question. As a former top-class defender yourself, mate, how would you have handled Elise, Diaz, Kvaratskhelia last night? How would you handle them, mate?
Well, the problem is there's at least three of them. So, one booking between the three, I've only been able to get one of them probably. So that made it very, very difficult. Even if I've got two, I'd have probably got a red card quite early on. But no, exceptional. Do you know what? It's great to see. It's great to see, players being proactive with the ball, not going sideways, not going backwards, not just let's keep possession for keeping possession's sake. Let's run at people, make something happen. And if it doesn't come off, it doesn't come off. But keep doing it, keep trying. And I think that was what was really exciting to see. I thought at 5-2, I thought, oh, that's it. This is it. Done and dusted. I'm sure you did, Ali, as well. But you're thinking, and then they came back, and suddenly now it's, they go into the second leg. Obviously, and it's only one goal, which seems really weird after a 5-4. But an incredible game of football, magnificent. Second leg, looking forward to that one. Tonight, don't think it'll be 5-4, Ray, do you?
No, I don't think it'll be 5-4 somehow. I think it could be 0-0. He's got the wrong game, Ali. He can't believe it.
Danny, I'm on a horrendous run. Brentford, Fulham, nothing each. Right, I was at Sporting Lisbon, nothing each. Oh, I've got about 3-0 each in my card in the last 2 or 3 weeks, mate. I'm just praying we'll get 1 or 2 goals, mate. But I'm with you.
Ali,
I think you make a great point.
Sometimes you get a really good 0-0 draw. So I'm praying for you. I'm hoping for you.
Well, I want goals, mate. I'll take a draw, but give me 2 each, mate. Just give me 2 each. But I think you make a brilliant point, and Ray and I were talking about earlier on. These midfielders, first thing the midfielders do, get the ball, look forward, and then in wide areas, whether it's Elise Diaz, Kvaratskhelia, whoever it would be, they just want to get a 1v1 on their fullback and go and attack. It was just an absolute breath of fresh air last night, Danny.
Ray, that was Arsene Wenger, wasn't it, Ray?
Yeah.
When Arsene Wenger came, it was like first pass forward, or can you run forward? Can you go forward? Take people out of the game. It's a very simple concept that seems to have gone out the window in this day and age.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know what, Danny and Ali? In training, if you didn't pass forward when you could have done, you should see Wenger's face. Come on, that pass is there, the pass. So, you're exactly right. And do you know what? That's why you don't go by stats no more in the Premier League, because I could have a 95% passing completion stat, but I could go sideways and backwards with it, and I ain't going nowhere with the ball.
100%, just keep the ball. Absolutely, mate. Danny, listen, to go ahead a break. Thank you very much. Enjoy the game tonight, mate. Thanks for your time. Big thanks to former St Leeds defender Danny Mills. Coming up, 2-time FA Cup winner and Luton Town manager Jack Wilshere is with us. How excited, now this is really cruel, this is really, really cruel. How excited could Jack be at the prospect of managing against Spurs next year? That is cruel. We're going to find out next.
Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua. 03717 223344. Mohammed in Cardiff. Good morning. Where are you at with this then?
Good morning, Jim. Good morning, Simon.
Morning.
Well, congratulations for your winning your award.
Thanks, mate.
But I think this is just another retirement paycheck for both of these fighters. 5 years ago, this fight would have been amazing. Both of them were in their prime. Both of them were world champions. It probably would have been a biggest fight in British boxing history. But now, Fury, you've seen a decline in his last fight. AJ hasn't been the same for a while. And it looks like it's just another big retirement paycheck for the both of them.
Yeah, but Mohammed, you'll watch it, right? You won't miss it.
No, I don't think I watch it, if I'm honest. Like, there's a fight on Saturday, Benavidez versus Ramirez. That's a fight
that's a proper fight. Yeah,
you see, that's a proper fight. Wardley and Dubois, another fight. That's right. You know what I mean? There's jeopardy behind it. But this fight is just like Eubank and Ben. It's just another cop-out. Obviously, these two guys have achieved more than Ben and Eubank, but it looks like 5 years ago would have been great, but now I don't think I'd be wasting my time on watching, if I'm honest.
Interesting. Mohammed, listen, thanks for that. Arsenal fan, boxing fan, Keith, we know you. Keith.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go, always.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've scoured the planet to find out. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try playing in a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle at the world's northernmost professional club. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the 97-98 Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on a windswept cliff in the Faroe Islands. In Euro 2000 qualifying, Craig Brown's men were taken to fishing village Toftir. Kevin Gallagher called the pitch a cowfield and the wind like Pittodrie on a bad day. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time, leading to these absolute scenes, and still one of Scotland's most embarrassing results.
Daft little ground, silly game.
But away trips don't come any tougher than a lung-busting schlep up the Andes to face Bolivia in La Paz. But now the Bolivians have taken home advantage to another level. The country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Grass doesn't even grow up here. Bolivia have not lost here yet. The longest unbeaten run in any professional league ever belongs to Red Star Belgrade, or Crvena Zvezda if you must. They've gone 7 years without defeat at the Rajko Mitic in Serbia's Superliga. Their fans are pretty intimidating as well, but they're not as loud as this mob. Galatasaray's Ali Sami Yen Stadium's officially the loudest in world football. In a derby with Fenerbahce, Galatasaray fans set a Guinness World Record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead, and pretty tough to carry out your manager's instructions when you can't even hear them. However, our most intimidating away day is in Wales, where cameras can't enter and players can't leave. HMP Prescoed. This prison team was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Early June 1939, Germany, always a tough place to go to.
Okay, 4 minutes past 8. It is Wednesday the 29th of April. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. It's a perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out for us online. Ally and Ray with you this morning. Now, it's a massive night for Arsenal tonight as they go to Madrid for the Champions League semi-final first leg to take on Simeone's Atletico.
To the bottom left-hand corner. Atletico Madrid lead inside 6 minutes.
They're a team that are a bit more clinical than they once were as well, which I think in terms of Arsenal being nervous and making mistakes, that is the bit that could be costly to Arsenal.
Rice coming forward, right-footed effort, oh, it is in, and that'll be that.
I mean, it's the best part of the season, so yeah, everyone is up for it, everyone is excited.
Saka arrives straight to his feet, comes back to Gyökeres, who puts it in the top corner. Stunning finish from Victor Gyökeres.
What an opportunity. We're going to grab it with both hands. You're going to see a team that wants to be dominant, that wants to win it, and that wants to start to decide the tie tomorrow.
Yep, Atletico versus Arsenal tonight, and it is of course live on talkSPORT. Can Mikel Arteta guide Arsenal to their second ever Champions League final? Time will tell. Well, he's called for his players to stand tall and weather the Simeone storm tonight. Both these clubs have never tasted Champions League success, arguably two of Europe's biggest never to win it. That's a fair argument, to be fair. Looking at that, yeah, I can remember. You remember it, Ray? Was it? I mean, they were nearly there, Atletico, and what do you call a big centre-half? Scored the header for Real Madrid. What do you call him? Come on, help me out. Sergio, Ramos. Yeah, remember, Ramos, I think he's equalised with the last header, the last minute of the game, and went on, and obviously they won it. Gareth Barry, I think he scored as well in that game. But I would say that's a fair point. You know, Arsenal, Atletico, two of the biggest clubs not to win it. Yeah. They did manage to beat Atletico, obviously. Arsenal 4-0 earlier in the season. But the semi-final, it's going to be a different ball game. What are you thinking, Ray? What's your gut feeling, mate?
I think tonight's going to be a very important game for Arsenal's point of view. But the atmosphere, Ali, you'll see it later. I saw the Barcelona game, and you expect that to be absolutely brilliant, and it was. And it'd be similar tonight. The crowd will really get behind, but they just stay in the game, come back to the Emirates, and then try and get the job done in that second leg. But I mean, I would take a draw all day long. We had Harry on earlier, didn't we? He said he'd take a draw all day long. I'll take a draw. If we can get a win, it's a bonus. But you don't lose. With the away goals now have gone out the window, it doesn't really matter, does it? When we used to play, when the away goals counted, you always try to nick one away, really, and then they got scored two at home, or that sort of stuff. So, but with the rules changing, a draw now is a decent result away from home if you can get it.
Of course it is. Absolutely, no doubt about it. And delighted to say two-time FA Cup winner Arsenal is with us now, but his focus clearly is getting Luton Town into the playoffs. Jack Wilshere's here. Jack, a very good morning, mate. How are you?
How you doing, Jack?
Ali, Ray, good morning.
Thanks for joining us, Jack. Now, let's not mess about. We've got plenty of time to talk European football, but what was your feeling? How was your feeling when Casey Palmer, I think it was, got you that winner against Barnsley at the weekend?
Yeah, it was a nice feeling. We've kind of been on, you know what it's like, guys, when you go into games and the context is that you have to win. You have to win. So that creates something. That creates and you can either use it as positive or it can eat you up. And to be fair to the players and the lads, they've produced that and they've given us a few. There was one only a couple of weeks ago when Cal Naismith, our centre-back, believe it or not, stepped up and whipped a free kick into the top corner. It was outstanding. So, the players have delivered. And there's one more to do it.
Yeah. Jack, I'm so pleased you're doing well. Great to see you win your first trophy as a manager. When you're going into your managerial career, and I know you was at Arsenal for a while and the youngsters, and you've done a really good job. Do you take any advice? Would you look at Arsene Wenger, how he's done stuff, and try and take that into your managerial career, or you're your own man and say, this is how I'm going to do it? And is it man management skills? Is it coaching? What will get the best out of players?
Yeah, I think you have to, especially when you work with some good coaches, you have to take a little bit from all of them. But I would say, Ray, the most important thing is, and I learned this probably later on when I was obviously coaching with the 18s at Arsenal, and that was brilliant. That taught me how to coach. That taught me my ideas. That taught me how to deliver sessions. Then I went to Norwich and worked with the first team, which taught me other things. But I think the most important thing is being yourself, being authentic, because there's so much that comes into all the stuff you're talking about, managing players, managing staff around the club, how you want to play, managing upwards, and how you talk to board members and stuff like that. So if you're not yourself, like you'll fall down, because there's so much that goes into it, and people will see through that. So I think being yourself and then having a really, really clear idea and working at it is hard work, but it's the only way.
I'm going to ask you, Jack. I mean, I know 100% you'll be focusing on your own team and getting the 3 points at the weekend against Bolton, which is going to be a great game. Has it helped you, or do you think it has helped you in any way, shape or form, the fact that Bolton, don't have any chance of obviously catching the likes of Lincoln and Cardiff, who have an incredible season? Do you think they might rest one or two thinking about the playoffs?
No, Ali, because it's still tight, and I know they'll want to finish third, because you obviously get a little bit of advantage. I believe that once you're in the playoffs, the games are something special, and it's about who the best team is on the day and who deals with that pressure the best. But no, I can't see Bolton doing that, because they want to finish third. I think you get home advantage in the second leg. Yeah. So I think they'll be going for that, and also you want to go into it in good form. You want to have momentum, and they're a good team.
Jack, I've got to ask you tonight, a massive game for Arsenal. I'm sure you'll be watching it, Atletico. The game last night was unbelievable to watch, Bayern and PSG. I don't think we're going to see that sort of game, but it's an important game for Arsenal. Obviously the pressure, and he knows it. Arteta's been around the block. He knows the pressure's on him to win a trophy this year. Can you see it? Can you see him winning that trophy? Can you see him winning that Premier League? Or will the pressure really kick into the side and they might stumble and win nothing?
I hope they do win the Premier League. I mean, the Champions League, I feel, is a different kettle of fish. That's you saw over the years what it took for Man City to win it, and how many times they got really close, got to a final, didn't quite do it. So that will be tough. I believe they can do it, but that will be difficult. The Premier League, I think, I watched the game against City. I don't always get a chance to watch all the games, but I watched the game against City, and I thought they played well. And sometimes you need a game like that. I know they didn't get the result they wanted, but you need a game like that against probably the best team in the country to. Even just for the players, to give them a little bit of belief, give them confidence that, okay, we are good players, we can produce against the best. I think both teams will drop points, but I think Arsenal can do it. I think they can. I know that when you have a 10-point lead and then you throw it away, that can affect you, but I think the City game gave them that little bit of belief that they might need, and hopefully they can do it, because Mikel has done outstanding. I was there for a lot of it when he first came in, and he was changing it, and he's done so well to change the mentality of the club and everything. And I hope they can get it done, because they deserve it.
What do you make of their style? Sorry, Ali. I just want to say about the style of football, Jack, because they've got some cracking players, haven't they? Midfield and wide areas. But sometimes they can be a little bit negative, can't they? I mean, I think they've got to try and. At Man City, we saw a little bit of a difference there. They went forward a little bit more, bit quicker, like we saw last night. When you win the ball back, and you got taught this, first pass forward, first pass and beat the lines, and you take 2 or 3 players out. Sometimes they can be a bit too safe and go sideways and backwards too much.
Yeah, I think when I said I was there for the start of it, when Mikel first came in, it was about playing. It was a big focus on build up, on finding the free play, and they were really, really good at it. And I think then, as a coach and as a team, you always have to look for ways to evolve, to look for ways to change a little bit how you're playing, because teams will start to work you out. And I thought Mikel's done that really well. I think over the last few years, there has been a little bit of a change in style, but this is also not just Arsenal, right? You look at City and bringing Haaland in and how they played into him a little bit more. And I remember playing against City in a cup final at Wembley, and then the goalie kicking it over all of us and Aguero scoring. So it's been around for a while. What I would say is, with Arsenal, I think Odegaard Odegaard is key to that. You know, he's the player who takes risks. He's the player who, even out of possession, sets everything. And I think he's had a few injuries this season, maybe lost a bit of form at times. But yeah, when Martin's playing, like, it's a different team. It's a different team, and they look braver. And I'd like to see at times, but yeah, Mikel has obviously thought that this is the best way to win the league. You know, they've fallen short over the last few years against the Liverpool team, against the City team that like to dominate the ball. And Arsenal couldn't get it done. He obviously sees this as the way forward. And yeah, at times I would like to see them play a little bit more as well.
Jack, I was going to say to you, mate, obviously some massive games last night, but a couple of big games in your own division, obviously. None more so. Stockport losing at home to Port Vale. And I know your attention would clearly be in that division, but did you manage? I'm thinking about yourself, mate. I'm thinking the way you played the game, the way you think of the game. Have you managed? Did you watch last night? I mean, you must have, even if you've seen the highlights, you must have loved what you saw last night.
Yeah, do you know what, Ali? We had our end of season awards. Yeah, so all the players, all the staff were at the awards with the fans. It was top night, to be fair, top night. You know, the fans at Luton are outstanding, I must say, and like, especially when how we've turned it around, they've been a big part of that. So to spend the evening with them was really nice. But everyone was looking at their phone. Everyone was looking at their phone, and PSG scored, Bayern scored, and it was like it didn't stop. Obviously, as well, one eye was on the Port Vale game against Stockport, and you can probably see like that result in this league is a bit of a mad result. Stockport are a really good team, and like, that's why you, at this point in the season, you just want to try and just win games, because I expect Stockport to be in the playoffs, and you want to go into the playoffs with confidence, with good form. But yeah, no, when I got home, I watched the highlights, and you know, probably one of the best goals I've seen this season, from Harry Kane's pass to Diaz. I mean, what a pass, and the execution. So yeah, no, but I'll be watching tonight.
Jack, I've got to ask you just quickly. No, Jack, one more question. Ali, this is you like this one. I'm sure you're going to get promoted this year. I'm sure you're going to get promoted.
I hope so.
And you know what, Jack? You could be managing against Tottenham next year. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
I knew you were going to say
that. Hey, Parlour, diabolical.
Listen, great. Focus is on us. We only focus on us.
Yeah, exactly. No, good luck, mate. I really hope you do.
Cheers, Ray.
Absolutely, Jack. I'm going to say to you, I know Cal Naismith. I had him myself, and I saw the free kick, and I saw the celebrations. He's a brilliant lad, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the season, mate. Best of luck to you, and thanks for joining us.
Cheers, Ray. Cheers, Ali. Top man.
Take care, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Two-time FA Cup winner Arsenal there, current Luton Town manager Jack Wilshere. What a finish. What a finish is going to be in that league. Now, coming up, we're going to turn our attention to another young English manager who has had an incredible season. That, of course, is Frank Lampard.
So they won, Martin, and well done Arsenal for doing so. But with 4 games to go, can Arsenal unshackle themselves? Do they need to?
Well, I mean, look, to be honest, the situation Arsenal are in is normal. It's never easy to be a team that doesn't win it after successive years. 22 years for Arsenal, 26 years, wasn't it, for Manchester United, 44 years for Man City. You know, we can still hear Aguero in the commentary because what it meant and the day they tripped up there against Queen's Park Rangers. So these nerves are there. It's natural. I just thought that the weekend, Eze, how he handled those nerves. I think he's an example to everybody in the team, how he's loving the situation. I was stunned by the naivety of Newcastle, not recognising that, OK, we're all marking in the box, but that's not the play we need to pick up. And there was 2 early corners that was assigned to that. And his finish was magnificent.
But that's strange, isn't it? Eze, the one player who's never been involved in a title run-in, in a title race, is the standout.
Yes, but you think about his progression in the game, 27 years of age. Arsenal didn't want him, rejected him. His route to this level, he's enjoying the moment, embracing it, and that has to be the attitude. I think if I contrast that with Zupimendi, he's played a lot of games. It's a difficult moment for him, but then these are the players you support. The result does the trick. It gives you that tonic. It makes you think you can keep going. You know, we've sat here now so many times. For me, it's been like climbing Mount Everest here. We have 4 games to go where Arsenal are top of the league and in the semi-final of the Champions League. And there's a crisis everywhere, every week.
Sent us a picture that made me feel so ashamed. We look like hoarders.
Chris Marshall!
Yeah, I'm actually recovering from an accident right now.
You've landed loose today, haven't you?
Yeah, don't shake the arm, Chris, too much.
You're with Danny Boyle, who's like the maddest director ever. He's got so much energy. He's like you. Got some money to spend.
Okay, 20 minutes past 8, Wednesday the 29th of April. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. Ally and Ray with you this morning now, as we are the Superstar Breakfast Show here on talkSPORT. We, without doubt, bring you the superstar guests. And tomorrow, that couldn't be more true, as we'll be joined by this footballing legend.
Drogba goes up for it. And now here's a chance for Lampard! Frank Lampard! It had to happen, didn't it? Long right footy shot comes in from distance. Oh, and a stumble! It's an equalising goal for Chelsea, scored by Frank Lampard in the dramatic 2008 Champions League final.
Coventry City are back in the Premier League after 25 years away.
I wouldn't say it's above night in Bayern Munich. It's probably the best night of my life, winning the Champions League with Chelsea, because what that meant. But I can definitely put it amongst it in terms of professional feeling of achieving something.
That's correct. Champions League winner, 3-time Premier League winner, 4-time FA Cup winner, and now Championship winner with Coventry. Super Frank Lampard will be live on the show tomorrow morning. Very much looking forward to that. Kind of gutted I'm not there for a bit. That's the way it goes. We'll ask what he thinks it's possible for his Coventry side to achieve next season and where he stands on the current mess at Chelsea. That's Coventry manager Frank Lampard on talkSPORT Breakfast tomorrow at 8:45. Do not miss it. Now, moving swiftly on, let's get the latest odds with the one and only Coral and Dave Stevens.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Very good morning, Steve-O. Tell me you watched it. Tell me you watched it.
Ali, Ray, very good morning. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago I was all smug when you were having to sit through Arsenal nil, Porto nil, wherever they were playing. And I said, you're missing a cracker with this Bayern Munich Real Madrid match. Well, you got your revenge last night. I was down at Lingfield where our horse came last. I was driving home. Now, fortunately, the brilliant Joe Shannon and Stuart Pearce commentary of the first half, and it was brilliant. I have to say, Stuart was on great form. And every time a goal went in, very tongue-in-cheek, he said, I'm going to boldly predict there's more goals in this game. and of course,
he's a genius, that Pearce, isn't he? He's a football...
And he was right. Anyway, I did get home for the second half, and obviously 4 more goals. I mean, what an extraordinary... Here's the thing, Ray, Ali. If you hadn't watched the game, but you saw the scoreline, you'd think, God, the defenders must have been terrible. But they actually weren't, were they?
No.
Yeah, you look at it...
I mean, the last goal summed it up, mate. Stephen, the last goal summed it up. I actually, and I've watched it, I don't know, a dozen times, I don't think Marquinhos does anything wrong. I think the ball from Kane is perfect, and I think the touch and the skill from Diaz is nothing short of ridiculous. And I'm looking at the defender, and he's standing up, he's trying to get his body between the ball, the goal, the player, the whole bit. And it's just the quality of the forward play that beats him.
I know. And I was watching that thinking, why on earth did Liverpool let him go? And that's a whole different debate. Look, I just want to... I asked the traders what the odds on that correct score, and I used the word only. Only 90 to 1, because... that tells you what we know those teams are capable of. I mean, an extraordinary game of football. Roll on next week when I should be clearing the diary for everything. But what does it mean in terms of the betting? And Ali, we spoke yesterday, and we were slightly kind of, why were Bayern Munich favourites to qualify? Why were they favourites to win it? Well, it's gone the other way now, but Bayern Munich are second favourites. PSG are 4 to 5 favourites to qualify, 10 to 11 Bayern to qualify. So very close. But I almost think the advantage is now with Bayern Munich only 1 goal behind.
So do I.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy as it sounds. Crazy as it sounds, I kind of agree with you, Steve. I do.
Yeah.
Because I think it's one of these situations, Bayern Munich look as though, I mean, the fact they come back from 5-2, I mean, I think we can say, Piercy clearly has the title of talkSPORT's footballing Nostradamus with his prediction there will be more goals. But I think it's safe to say we're going to get more goals in this second leg. Well, but I don't know why. I'm slightly favouring Bayern Munich.
I agree. PSG 15 to 8 to now win it. Bayern Munich 2 to 1. So it is really close, obviously. I was just having a look at correct score. 0-0 in the second leg. 25 to 1. I urge all listeners to leave that well alone.
Steve-o, let me ask you this question, mate. With 90 to 154, right? I'm guessing it's about 390 to 154 tonight.
Well, I did look at that. A 0-0 tonight is 7 to 1, so much more likely. 5-4 tonight is about 250 to 1. I mean, look. Let's move on to that, Ray.
Yeah,
you are 2 to 1 on to qualify. 6 to 4 Atletico. Your favourites to win tonight, 11 to 8, just over 2 to 1 Atletico. I'm slightly, I think those odds feel 11 to 5 the draw. I mean, Ray, from an Arsenal perspective, I know what you're hoping for, but how do you see this one?
Yeah, I think they've got a few injuries, haven't they? Atletico. I know Havertz is out for Arsenal, but I think they've got I think Alvarez might start. Lookman could be out. Gonzalez could be out as well. They've got a couple of players out, but I think it's just don't lose the game tonight. I mean, if you can, the away games don't count no more. The away goals, sorry. So it's one of them sort of. If you can get a draw, I think it's go back to the Emirates, and I can see him getting the job done at the Emirates, but. Look, 11 to 8 is a bit skinny for me, if I'm being honest, for an Arsenal win, because the atmosphere there. We saw the Barcelona game; they can turn up on the night. Simeone would get them all ready to go. So I don't think I'll be back in 11 to 8 Arsenal.
No, I'm drawn. I mean, look, I'm drawn towards the draw. The shortest price correct score outcome is 1-1 at 5 to 1, and that feels right, Ali, doesn't it? But Arsenal, now I say third favourites, 13 to 5 to win it, but. I think we're all looking forward to the second leg of that PSG Bayern game next week. Huge game, obviously, in the Championship last night. Ipswich could have gone up probably with a win, but they are 10 to 1 on to be promoted now. What is it, QPR at Portman Road on Saturday? It's in their hands, isn't it? But then beyond that, I mean, the playoffs, This is for promotion. 6-4 Southampton, 15-8 Borough, 2-1 Millwall, Wrexham 10-1, Hull 12-1 could still get in there. Derby 20-1. It's, I mean, a brilliant final day in the Championship coming up.
Well, I've got to say, Steve, after his quite remarkable performances, predictions last night, as soon as the show finishes, I will be phoning Stuart Pearce for his predictions for the tonight and the rest of the season, with that outrageous claim that there will be more goals in that game. Steve, will you take care, pal? Have a good day. Enjoy the game tonight.
Cheers, fellas.
Great stuff. That was a look at the latest odds with Coral. 18 plus, gambleaware.org. Now, coming up, we will be turning our attention back to that cracker game last night. Jason Cundy said that Bayern and PSG put the Premier League to shame. 03717223344 is the number to call, and we want to hear your opinions on that. That's coming up next.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Lincoln City celebrated their title win this weekend. Decided this is the big moment to mock Spurs.
What? Oh my God! up the imps. Up the imps. Jay, Tottenham away, ole ole. That is shameless.
I don't know where to go.
Do you know that game now has been built up to something?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's been a thing because of you. Because of you.
It has nothing to do with me. I'm not.
No, it is. No, it's because of you. You made it a
I'm
thing.
not playing centre off Spurs.
It's just who we are, mate.
It's not my fault you're there.
Oh, it's a killer. Oh, it's a killer. Lincoln away next season.
Mate, don't knock the imps, mate.
Over the last few years, Formula One has gone from elitist and insular to a global entertainment brand. The transformation's down to American investment group Liberty Media, who cultivated a new image for the sport since buying it in 2016. Better access to drivers, improved content on social media, and tapping into the US market have given F1 a massive boost in both attention and revenues. But is everyone happy? The fans certainly are, as evidenced by Drive to Survive. Almost 7 million people per season have tuned in to get all the gossip and all the drama from the paddock. The extra exposure means the drivers can demand a higher salary too. In 2010, the top drivers were earning $20 million a year, which isn't bad. But now, the very best earn 3 times that, with Max Verstappen getting a whopping $65 million in 2025. But money doesn't always buy happiness. Some drivers, including Verstappen, don't like the pageantry the changes have brought about. In Las Vegas in 2023, Verstappen said the drivers were made to look like clowns, and the event was 99% performance and 1% race. Some purists who still watch the sport feel the same, and that the spirit of competition has suffered. But Formula One and Liberty Media don't look like slowing down anytime soon. So expect more races, major events and exclusive access in future.
gone 8:30 Wednesday, the 29th of April. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. To shop the upgrade event today and get an extra £500 when you part exchange your car, do not miss your chance to boost your valuation. I'm with you here, coming live from Madrid, and back home in London at the London Bridge is Ray Parlour. Now, did we witness, with no doubt about it, one of the greatest Champions League games ever last night?
Big deep breath. Here goes Kane, right-footed, and he scores! Kvaratskhelia raiding down the inside left. He's into the penalty area now, shimmying feet, and a low shot is brilliant! Oh, what a magnificent goal! Dembele with the corner, hit it in! Elise right through the middle here has rammed it into the net! It's 2-2! Oh, this is the chaos football in the Champions League that we were hoping for. Straight run up from the edge of the penalty area, hits it right-footed, and he beats Manuel Neuer! Hakimi across goal, two players leave it, but Kvaratskhelia is there to lash it home! Ousmane Dembele, chance to make it 5! He has! Finish floats in the free kick, downward header in! Dio Upamecano! Harry Kane with an early ball over the top. What a pass to Luis Diaz. Brings it down onto the right foot! It's 5-4!
Wow, well that's just utterly ridiculous. What a game of football.
It was. Make no mistake about it, it was utterly ridiculous. Absolutely loved it, as we heard there. Brilliant commentary for the boys. PSG came out on top in a 9-goal thriller against Parc des Princes to take a slim advantage into their Champions League semi-final second leg. 5 goals were scored in a breathless first half before the mayhem continued in the second. PSG began to pull away, opening up at one point a 3-goal lead, 5-2, and Bayern cut the deficit to 1 to set up an absolutely scintillating, remarkable second leg in Munich. Now, I'll ask you, Ray, the attacking quality was there for everybody to see, right? And I just think the thing, it's one or two people, and I get it, asking or questioning maybe the level of defending. I'm going the other way, mate.
Yeah,
I'm saying the quality of attacking is what we should be talking about rather than the level of defending, because as I said earlier, mate, the centre-back, Marquinhos, I don't think could have done anything. Sometimes you've got to hold your hands up, Ray, and just say, you know something, we've been beaten by brilliance. The fact that Luis Enrique, one of the most, if not the most respected coach at this moment in time on the planet, he said, for me, it's the best game I've ever been involved in as a manager. And he also said, beautiful quote this, we deserve to win it, we deserve to lose it, and we deserve to draw it. What a night, mate.
Absolutely. As I said before, Ali, it was an amazing game to watch. One of the best quality games I've seen for quite a long time. I mean, going forward, as you mentioned there, Diaz and Elise for Munich, and on the other side, you know, Dembele running at players, Kvaratskhelia, I always say his name wrong, but he was top draw again. He scored a couple of goals again. You know his power, and his goal, what he took, his first goal was absolutely stunning as well, where he cut inside. You could argue, look, you should be showing him down the line if you're a fullback, but I always say, as you rightly said, you know, you just got to sometimes look at it and say, what a great bit of skill. And with his pace, and when he drops his shoulder, he's got that half-a-yard pace to get past the player. Yeah, it was just a wonderful game to watch. I'm sure every single supporter, and Bayern Munich made a lot of noise as well, their little section of fans in that corner, like they do everywhere they go. Yeah. And the Paris Saint-Germain fans were unbelievable, the noise they made.
They're unbelievable, Ray.
Oh, I've seen them both at the Emirates when they come to the Emirates. They've got 3,000 or 4,000 fans. They don't stop the whole game. And that's what it was like that yesterday, just listening from my front room. So imagine being in the stadium. And I was listening to Alan Shearer. And Alan, you will know Alan knows his football. He said, what a remarkable game, what he was watching. Yeah. So, I mean, it was a brilliant game. Whether we're going to get that tonight, we doubt it. But I can't wait for that second leg. I think most people will be watching that second leg in Munich, definitely.
Oh, for sure. And just make sure the listeners stay tuned between now and the end of the show, because not only am I going to ask Ray to say Kvaratskhelia again, I'm going to ask him to spell it between now and 10 o'clock.
Kvaratskhelia? Is that right? I don't know.
I'll give you Kvaratskhelia.
Kvaratskhelia. I will be never. Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia. Just go Scalia. That'll do. You know what I mean.
That'll do us, mate. Did the quality of last night's show what we're missing in the Premier League? That's what Jason Cundy, he reckoned last night in the sports bar. 03717 223344 is the number to call to have your say. So we're going to head back to the phone lines. We're going to speak to Jeff. Jeff's a Newcastle fan. Very good morning, Jeff. Thanks for calling us. Can you explain and can you say Kvaratskhelia?
Kvaratskhelia.
Kvaratskhelia. I'm really happy to join the Premier League.
That's it, Jeff. No bother at all, mate.
How you doing, Jeff?
And how good was the game last night, boys? What one of the best games I've seen in ages. But the best if you're in neutral, though. You know, Newcastle had a few of those 5-4s and 4-3s over the years, and we love them if you're in neutral. But my God, does it put you through the ringer if it's your team playing one of those games?
I just think, Jeff, every single when they won the ball back each side, the passing, they was getting into opportunities straight away with a good 20-yard pass, and that's the difference I don't see sometimes in the Premier League, where people win the ball back, then suddenly you go sideways, and it gives the opportunity for the defenders to get back into position. Which last night, when they won the ball back, the pass forward was so quick. It sometimes took 2 or 3 players out. That's why we saw end-to-end stuff.
Yeah, you're spot on, Ray. 2 things I was thinking watching the game last night. One was I think the Premier League is a league dominated by really good but not great teams. We've got the best strength in depth of any league in the world. But when it gets to the real elite, how many, you put Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool up against those teams last night. You only have to look at how, my team Newcastle did in the Champions League last year, and then look where we are in the Premier League to see what the standard is. But then the other thing, and one thing I really, really hoped last night is we know football's a copycat sport. And the old saying, attack wins your matches, but defence wins your trophies. I think that is fallen by the wayside. That's old school thinking. Actually, I think what I was thinking last night, your point, Ali, that the defence didn't play badly at all, is however good your defence is, when you come up with it as a truly elite, world-class attacking unit, they will unlock the defence every time. And I hope we're going to see loads of copycat Luis Enrique coaches in years to come. And maybe that will even filter through to the Premier League, and we won't have to watch Arsenal winning 1-0 with a corner every week.
Jeff, brilliant call, mate.
That's you, Jeff.
Would settle for that. Some of that football we saw last night.
Yeah,
would settle for it in the top flight here for sure. We've got another call. Tej is a Liverpool fan. Good morning, Tej. How are you, mate?
Hi, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
First time caller, long time listener. But yeah, I couldn't agree more with what yourselves, Jeff, Jason all said yesterday. I think that was probably one of the best games of football I have seen all year, if not the best. And to say and to add to it more, I am a Liverpool supporter. I tend not to, once we're out of the tournament, we're thinking to ourselves, what's the point of watching other teams go for glory? But I'm so happy that I turned that game on yesterday and saw what they were doing, because, it was just end to end. It was like watching a basketball game at some point. It was just seeing players just go for it and have no fear. There was no fear in anything. And I know what you said earlier, right? That sometimes the attack is just so good, but there is also another saying that says the best form of a good defence is an even more potent attack. And I think that was ever more present yesterday. You saw players really going for it, and just a great watch, really.
Tej, I've got to ask you just quickly. Sorry, Ali. I just got to ask you, because we've done a little quiz earlier on what's the best Champions League game you ever see, and Ali put that one top.
Yeah.
But would you agree with me that the Liverpool one was better in AC Milan?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I wouldn't be a Liverpool supporter if I didn't say that, right? But this one is fantastic for end to end. I'm not going to take the shine away from yesterday by talking about Istanbul and things like that. That stands in its own right, but it's going to go down as one of the great games of the tournament, and it was just pure fun, right? Everyone's talking about it today, and I was on my phone getting everyone to switch it on as well, because I was like, you've got to watch this game. It's just incredible.
Tej, before you go, mate, I'm going to throw another one into the equation. Your home game against Barcelona, mate. What about that one?
Well, I was going to look. Anfield's known for it. Liverpool's known for some great European nights. That that had me doing things that I probably I probably had no idea I was capable of doing. But that's probably one of the greatest games I've ever seen, right? And it's the culmination of that era of football. And Jeff said something earlier about the Premier League learning from these players, right? And in this game itself, I think he was spot on. But isn't it also quite telling to see that people like Michael Olise, Luis Diaz, these guys were kind of playing in the Premier League, and they left to go and play here, and instead what you have is them leveling up in these areas, whereas their parent clubs, or their former clubs rather, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, I mean, they're probably worse off without them, if you know what I mean. And it's also telling.
I think you're spot on, mate. I don't think there's any doubt about that now. And I would also add to it, but I'm going to head to a break, but I would also add to it, Tej, I'm not saying they weren't playing with a freedom when they were playing with Palace and Liverpool, but boy, are they playing with total freedom now. Thanks for your call, Tej. Still to come in breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Benchmarx Kitchens and Joinery. Get trade prices on kitchens to suit all styles and budgets at Benchmarx.
Yep, a quite remarkable semi-final last night, but will we be treated to another one tonight, or do Arsenal fans just want that 0-0? I tell you right now, Arsenal fans would take a draw. Let's not get carried away here. They take a draw right now, I think. The game, of course, as you would expect, is live on talkSPORT. We'll be finding out what massive Arsenal fan and our good pal Laura Woods thinks of that, as she'll join us right here in the Madrid studio. That was our breakfast preview, guys, with Travis Perkins.
I'll be honest, I'm not very high maintenance.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. With pay-as-you-go hire from Travis Perkins, you can get straight on with the job. Available nationwide at all hire branches.
But surely with players, Martin, conning referees with fake injuries and hence pausing games, there is a culture of distrust that's been sown by the very players.
Yeah, and with the goalies particularly, we saw that in the FA Cup yesterday. Caused a mini riot with Leeds players going berserk when the Chelsea keeper goes down. So I just think they got it right. And I think Glasner's right. I don't want to be just seeing the game stop there because somebody's got an injury. He got up. He tried to get to his feet. We could see that there was an issue, but it was in the same action. I don't think you can stop it for that.
Even if it's a goal, is there a difference here in that it's a goalkeeper?
But what does the rules say? These guys make the rules up as they go along. They've made the rules up as they go along, and they now think that the rules that they've made up are the ones that everyone's got to abide by. The fact is that players have somehow managed to coerce referees into believing that every time someone falls over and hurts themselves, that the game's got to be stopped. And there's this unwritten law on the field that's established by the players that if someone gets injured and they determine the game should be stopped, it should be stopped. That's not how it works.
And they sent us a picture that made me feel so ashamed. We look like hoarders.
Chris Marshall!
Yeah, I'm actually recovering from an accident right now.
You've landed loose today, haven't you?
Yeah, don't shake the arm, Chris, too much.
You're with Danny Boyle, who's like the maddest director ever. He's got so much energy. He's like you. Working such a bind, got some money to spend. Look out the weekend.
Okay, 8:50 this Wednesday morning. It is Wednesday, the 29th of April. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm coming to you live from the studio in Madrid, and Ray is in the studio in London Bridge, and we've got a thrilling final day of Championship action coming with live and exclusive commentary of Ipswich versus QPR at 12:30 on Saturday, or you can swipe on our free app to listen to Wrexham versus Borough on talkSPORT 2. There's some incredible games. What a finish we've got in that championship. I just can't get enough of that championship. I love it. With 3 teams still vying for the automatic promotion spot and 3 teams fighting to get into the playoffs, there's still so much to play for. Let's hear the permutations going into the weekend. We're going to hand it over to somebody in the know. It is, of course, talkSPORT's Ollie Klink.
Confused about the EFL picture? Who could go up and who could go down? Well, on talkSPORT, we got you covered.
We just love the EFL on talkSPORT. That's how it'll always be.
After last night's draw between Ipswich and Southampton, it's game on in the promotion race.
Comes out to the edge of the area. Clark, 2-2. Fantastic hit from Jack Clark. And Ipswich are going to grab a point here. And again, Southampton's destiny may have disappeared in terms of automatic promotion.
Ipswich, Millwall, Middlesbrough can all grab second place on the final day of the season this Saturday.
Fannon's still going, finds Coburn at the edge of the penalty area. He's already scored once for Millwall against his former side. He's scored twice.
Callum Britton, good save. Rebound is in. Tommy Conway. There's the goal for Middlesbrough.
Ipswich host QPR, Millwall play Oxford, while Middlesbrough travel to Wrexham, who themselves can clinch the final playoff spot with a win. Meanwhile, Hull needs to better Wrexham's result against Norwich.
Okay, the one thing that's come out of Ollie's piece there is there's everything to play for. But Kieran McKenna's Ipswich just need to focus on themselves, of course, and get the job done at home to Queen's Park Rangers. Now, to look ahead to that and speak to a man who obviously Ipswich in his heart last night. We're going to bring in he was a man that was coach, first team coach, I beg your pardon, at the Town when they earned back-to-back promotions. Of course, Lee Grant. Lee, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. How are you, mate?
Morning, Lee.
Morning, gents. Morning, Ali. Morning, Ray.
Thanks for joining us, Lee. First question, Lee. Last night, I've got a question here. It's written down in front of me. A missed opportunity or a good point?
It's a wonderful point. And
yeah,
look, Ipswich have had their work cut out over the last 6 games. I think 5 of those have been away from home. And Kieran's done a wonderful job of keeping that ship steady and putting him in a great position now for promotion on the last day, which will be, in my opinion, Kieran's finest work as head coach at Ipswich Town.
Lee, I've got to say, I mean, if you go back to Christmas time, I mean, me and Alan Brazil, who was a big Ipswich legend, we were always scratching our heads going, well, what's happened to Ipswich, Alan? And he'd be like, oh, I don't know, and they're struggling at the moment a little bit. So to get where you are now, as you rightly said there, he's done an unbelievable job, knowing that it's in your hands, that if you win that game, and Portman Road will be packed, I can imagine. It'd be an unbelievable atmosphere. They will get right behind that team to say, and if you can get that win, there'll be some party in Ipswich that night, because what they've had to go through, they've not been up there all season. They've really had to go on a good run, and that's what they've done. And to be where you are now, it's been a remarkable season for you.
Incredible. So if you look at days spent in the top 2, I think Ipswich hardly have any.
Yeah.
And their timing is almost exquisite when it comes to arriving in the right place, in the right moment. And for me, one of the huge advantages that football club will have going into the last day is that trust and that sense of we've been here before and we know what to expect and we know how to go and apply ourselves. And that's, and you're right, Ray, because that goes for the supporters and the ground and everybody connected with the club as well, because that atmosphere is going to be incredible at Portman Road at the weekend, I can assure you.
Lee, tell me, what is it about that division, mate? I mean, well documented. I crack on about it. It might honestly, it might be my favourite league throughout, to watch throughout the season. You're looking at it just now, all the way down to Derby Hall, Wrexham, a game at Borough, dear me. Borough or Wrexham must have been cheering that goal from Ipswich equaliser. Or the Borough lads must have been cheering right down. I'm looking at Millwall, the job Alex Neil's done. I mean, it's just what the league is. Philippe Clement, I know they've got no chance of playoff places, but what a job he's done at Norwich. All the way through it, mate. It's non-stop drama.
It's incredible. And you don't have to look any further than, last night. So Tondereka and the job that he's done since he's come into Southampton is, him and Bengana, they've gone in there. I think there's no one had any more points than them or scored more goals in the time that he's had the job. You're right, the job that Clement's done. Alex Neil goes without saying, that is an incredible job. And that, I think, sums up the division in terms of the spectrum of a side like Millwall, unfancied, budget perhaps not as strong as the Southamptons and the Switches of this world, but are able to compete, able to find a way, and are in position to still have a chance for promotion this year.
Lee, I've got to ask you about the Premier League. It's going to go down to the wire as well. Relegation and probably who's going to win the Premier League. But one manager you know very well, Michael Carrick, he's done a great job, hasn't he? And I'm surely now he must be nearly going to get an offer to say, come on, can you take this club forward? There should be in that Champions League next year, which is a real success because it was right down the bottom of the league. And he's just brought players back into the team and he's done a wonderful job.
Yeah, and I tell you what's really telling, Ray. I don't know if any of you caught it, but if you listen really closely to what the players are saying, it gives you a real clue as to the feeling from the inside. And I've spoke to a few of the lads, and if you're in and around it, or even just listening from the outside, like I say, Harry Maguire's post-match, go back and have a listen. It gives you a little snippet as to what the players want and what the feeling is from the inside of the football club. And I can assure you that is very much, we are fully committed and behind Michael Carrick. And I think, look, he's won the trust of the players, and that is everything at that football club. I've been in a changing room in there when perhaps it's not quite there, and I've been there when it is. And if you've got it, which Michael for sure has, that's half the battle.
Yeah.
Lee, I want to ask you, mate, just on United, before I let you go. You talk about listening to the players. I'm watching the players, right? And, they look as though they've signed, quality players that look as though they can handle, I think, for the first time in a long time, playing at Manchester United, whether it's in Buemo, Šeško, obviously Cunha and boys like that. But tell me, mate, the one standout, if it's not the standout, it's one of the standouts, and for me, it might be the biggest difference in United, Lee, is the goalkeeper. Not only his performances, but as importantly, if not more importantly, the effect that he's had on the people around him, particularly the defence.
100%. Ali, you took the words right out of my mouth. You can't underestimate how difficult it is to go into that football club and, with the weight of that shirt and that jersey, be the man. And what he's done, the goalkeeper, for me this year, is be super calm. He's come in under the radar almost in terms of his level of performance. And he showed everybody that he's ready to go and make that jersey his own and perform at a high level every week. So for me, top. Excited to see his journey progress because I think there's a lot of improvement to come for Lemons as well.
Brilliant, Lee. Thanks for your time this morning.
Lee.
Enjoyed your company. Different class. Now we're going to be obviously following a dramatic final day in the Championship this Saturday. 3 teams chasing automatic promotion, with 3 more chasing the final playoff spot. But do not worry. Do not be concerned, because here on talkSPORT we've got you covered. talkSPORT is exclusive commentary of Ipswich versus QPR at 12:30, or you can swipe on our free app to listen to Wrexham versus Borough on talkSPORT 2. We'll also have teams covering Millwall, Hull and Derby. What a climax to the Championship season. But up next, would Arsenal fans be happy with a 0-0 draw tonight? Of course they fan. Super fan. And more importantly, one of my best pals, Laura Woods, is with us next.
Unai Emery to Real Madrid.
Oh dear, my drink.
He's an experienced Spaniard whose heart is open to a move back home. He's enjoyed his time in the Midlands. His current partner is begging him to stay. But sometimes you just can't say no to something bigger and better. So will he ditch his babe in boring Birmingham for a magnificent madam in Madrid? Unai Emery to Real Madrid.
I don't think he'd want to go to
Are you
Real
swiping
Madrid.
left or swiping right?
Swiping left.
Hold on a minute. Did you just say?
Do you know what?
He wouldn't want to go to Real Madrid? Well, no.
No, you don't get to explain.
Did you just say he wouldn't want to go to Real Madrid?
Reasons,
and the reason for that would be?
Because at Aston Villa, he runs the show. It's his club. Real Madrid is chaos. Look how the players treated Xavi Alonso.
It's Real Madrid.
Vinny Jr. walked off the pitch and went down the tunnel. And when he got taken off, it's not work for Arbeloa. It's a bit of a toxic job at the moment.
It's the biggest club in the world, one of them, certainly.
After Rangers?
After Glasgow Rangers, yes.
I don't think it works. I feel like what he's got going on at Aston Villa, he runs the club, he decides every decision to go to Real Madrid and what? You could be there for 6 months and get the sack.
Is this because you want this to happen? You don't want this move to happen?
I don't see it. That's why I'm swiping left, because I don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
I love him.
I don't see it
We can't do what you want. We think.
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney, Watkins. Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure, convinced they'd done enough to stay up. However, there'd be one more plot twist. Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds, and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. As for Jimmy Glass, he became an overnight celebrity, but he never played for Carlisle again, and his playing career never really kicked on after that defining moment. He took on various jobs outside of football before finding his way back into the sport as player liaison officer at Eddie Howe's Bournemouth, and most recently the general manager at non-league Wimborne. Not the fairy tale ending to one of the most Hollywood moments in football, but the name Jimmy Glass will live on forever as the scorer of that goal, arguably the most important in any club's history.
ladies fell for Rudolph Valentino. He had a vino back in those balmy days.
Right, we all know the song. Who is it, Ed? Help me out. I love it. It's a bit of class. It's a bit of class. I've been told it's Sylvia. There you go. We've all know the song. We've all heard it before. This, as you know, is, what time is it? 9:05, Wednesday the 29th of April. It is, of course, talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Buy a used car and get a free 2-year service plan. Plus, get an extra £500 when you part exchange. Shop the upgrade event today. Ally here with you in Madrid, and Arsenal invincible Ray Parlour in London Bridge. Now, we were without doubt treated to an absolute Champions League classic last night as PSG beat Bayern 5-4 in Paris. Surely it'll be more of the same tonight between Simeone's Atletico and Arteta's Arsenal. Never mind laughing, Ray. Maybe not. One thing's for sure, it's a massive night for Mikel Arteta as he looks to guide Arsenal into their second Champions League final ever, 20 years on from the last. I'm just thinking, Ray, I mean, all those stats that I've just read to you, I mean, surely everybody in the country will be behind Arsenal tonight, want them to win, won't they?
Oh, absolutely, Ali. They've got to be. They've got to be. I think even Tottenham fans will be behind Arsenal tonight. No, they definitely won't be behind Arsenal tonight. But it's
games like this that unite us all. Surely,
oh,
Ray.
Definitely. I will be behind any team in England now if there was in it. So I'm sure the fans around the country will be all joining together. To say, come on Arsenal tonight, and let's go. Mikel Arteta can get everybody in a good mood for tomorrow morning, Ali.
I'm with you, mate. I'm screaming out. I'm pleading with the nation. Let's have a communal. Let's do it, Arsenal.
I'm going to get all the hooters going around London. You know, if they win tonight, wherever you go, there'd be flags out. Ali, it'd be unbelievable.
Well, listen, the great news is I've been joined by, it says here, Arsenal superfan and TNT host Laura Woods. Absolutely fantastic. We're going to have a good crack with Laura in a moment, but first we need to get a reaction to this. The sports bar boys gave a rallying cry to not Arsenal, but indeed Atletico. And I think Laura might have got a mention. Take a listen to this, guys.
Tomorrow night, the heart of Madrid, basically the rest of the world, beats for one thing. And one thing only. Atletico Madrid slapping Arsenal. Tomorrow night at the Metropolitana, we don't just play for a badge. We play to reclaim the soul of the game. For too long, the world has had to endure the ball fests of North London. The endless hallow passing, struggling to score goals, and set-piece FC. Arteta's Arsenal, they call it tactics. We call it shambles. We've got Woodsy, Piers Morgan, Martin Keown giving it large. Before anything has even been won.
Tomorrow, we need to save the rest of the world from whinge and cringe FC. One heart beats. Tomorrow we unleash a real spirit. We don't need 1,000 passes. We need one heartbeat, one roar, and Simeone to drop the biggest stinkfest, snatch and grab in Champions League history.
Yeah, let's save the beautiful game from the boredom of the Emirates. Stand tall, fight hard, show them that football isn't a spreadsheet. It's war. Or Atleti!
Atleti!
Yeah. As you can hear, we are as one on talkSPORT. I like to say that rolling back your years now for tonight's massive game, and to give a response, TNT Sports host and massive Arsenal fan Laura Woods, who has joined me in the studio here in Madrid. Woodsy, first of all, great to see you.
Morning, Laura.
Great to see you. I don't appreciate you lot. Hi, Ray. I don't appreciate you lot setting traps for me, by the way. I haven't even opened my mouth yet.
I think you know those two well enough. It hasn't come as a major shock to you, Laura.
I just got a text message from Jamie. Have you been on yet? No, why? Oh, we got a surprise for you. He's like a kid at Christmas.
It's amazing, isn't it? But I mean, the competition is amazing. I mean, Arsenal, let's be honest about it, I've got a potential quadruple. It's been a rather dodgy couple of weeks, hasn't it?
It has been a dodgy. Do you know what? I'm glad you brought up the quadruple, because one thing I'll say, Ali, is I think when any team is in the run for all competitions, like we say about City every year, don't we? I don't know that their manager is actually sitting there and going, look, we're going for the quadruple. No. You're just going for something. You're going for a title, whatever you want to go for, whatever sort of victory you want to try and get. But I don't think anyone's actually saying we're going to sit here and we're going to win the quadruple this season. And I can't believe, like, it's football in this country, isn't it? That when you then don't win the quadruple, which no one's done, that's then the funny part of it. The funny part is like you've been in all these competitions and now you're not. Now you're only in 2 of them. Ha ha ha.
Well, we are as a nation that likes to build people up and slap them down. That's what we do very well, don't we?
And to be fair, we all work in talkSPORT, so like, can't really complain. But Jamie O'Hara sitting there like that, where all of a sudden he's got a mouth because you beat Wolves. Congratulations, you've won 1 game against Wolves.
This year,
We're pretty much already relegated, aren't they?
No, this year they've only won 1 game this year. Let's not forget that. But I just want to say to you, Laura, we've got the 2 main trophies still to play for. So and Tottenham fans are just be hoping they can stay in the Premier League. So that's the difference between both clubs at the moment. And also, it's a massive week for Arsenal. It wasn't a great game against Newcastle, but they got the 3 points. If they can get a result tonight, and then they can beat Fulham at the weekend, they're still in a great position, Laura.
Yes, Ray, exactly. See, that's the kind of optimism you get from Arsenal fans. It's not deluded.
Well, no, but I think that's the way they've got to be, Laura. They've got, half full rather than half empty. They've got to be positive.
And also, I've been listening to you guys this morning, and I totally agree. Last night was ridiculous. It was a ridiculous game. And then you look at tonight and you think, it's going to be slightly different. But you're never going to look back on those games and how they were won. I understand the neutral wants to watch a good game, and that's fine. But for your own fan base, like when you're watching your own team go into a game like this, you're never going to look back and go, wow, that was an incredible game. It'll only matter if you make it into the final. In the same way that if Spurs get relegated, they're never going to look back on that one Wolves win and think, at least we won that game in that year.
But I look at Laura, I look at the 2 teams tonight, right, and I think one of the reasons we won't get what we got last night is the fact you could argue that these 2 teams tonight defensively have better players than they have offensively, whereas last night you're looking at forwards for both sides that is their main strength in their team. So what Arteta and Simeone will correctly do, they'll play a formation and put their team into a shape that they think they'll have the best opportunity to go through.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference. You're right about last night, Ali, that team. And I know you're saying that we shouldn't really look at the defensive performance, but there were a couple of moments where you think that they're so go get them and they're so attacking that there were little slip ups at the back. But yeah, you're right. Also, the quality is in the attack. But I think that's probably why the Premier League is so different as well, is because it's so much more competitive than the Spanish league or the French league. When you look at them, you're talking about 2 absolute giants going at each other last night, and no wonder you're going to get a good game when you've got 2 teams like that who attack so well.
Laura, they've got to mix it up a little bit better for me. They take a lot more chances from the back than they do at the front, Arsenal, because they try and play it from the back, and you see Raya sometimes under pressure, and I just don't get that bit sometimes. I think sometimes you've got to go a little bit more direct and miss the midfield out, and then all come up as a unit and play off Gyökeres at times, because he does make some good runs at times, and he doesn't get the ball. So they've got to look a little bit more for the striker. Whoever's playing up there, whether it's Havertz, I know he's not going to run in behind as much, but you've got to mix it up a little bit. You can play out from the back when it's on, but then if it's not on, just miss the midfield out, go into the chest of Gyökeres and then play off him. That's what they've got to do a bit better.
I do agree, Ray. I think it does get boring, doesn't it? So that's where I do agree with everybody who says, like, watching Arsenal sometimes this season can be a bit boring. Because I agree, sometimes they go sideways, they go backwards, and you just think, oh, for God's sake, just do it, go forward and see what can happen. And we did the FA Cup at the weekend, and you've got goalkeepers that are flying it over the top and getting the assist for the goal. I'd love to see a little bit more of that. I also worry a little bit, Ray, just about their confidence at the moment, and obviously like Havertz picking up an injury and things like that. I do worry, because I thought the last game, I kind of thought against City, I thought, wow, like they've now come to the party, and I'd love to see them play a little bit more like that.
Yeah.
And then the next game was a bit of a disappointment again. So I do worry a little bit about just their confidence at this time of the season.
Well, it's just all about getting the results now, Laura. It's not how you play. It's all about 3 points on the board and put pressure on the other side. That's all you can do. And to be 6 points clear, they can beat Fulham at the weekend. I know we're not looking at tonight's game, but if they can beat Fulham at the weekend, then again, 6 points. It's harder to chase a lead than it is to have the lead. So it really puts the pressure back onto Man City, who go to Everton, who's not an easy game away from home. So I think Arsenal just got to do their jobs. Tonight is a very important game to get a bit of confidence. Don't lose the game tonight, and then you can look forward to the Emirates again and try and get 3 points on the weekend.
Do you know what I thought, guys? I'm interested in your thoughts. See what you're talking about, going slightly longer. right, Ray?
Yeah.
Laura, I thought they did exactly that against City. I mean, I thought City, played the better football in that particular game, but I thought Arsenal were excellent. They did a little bit where he took a chance early on in the game. Haaland nearly closed David Raya down, right? And he got a little bit of a fright, and then we saw what happened with Donnarumma at the other end. But after that, they did miss out the defenders and indeed the midfield, and they knocked into Havertz, who I thought held the ball up well and brought people in. So I think that is a part of the game that surely if they looked at that City game, they'll realise they've got to have more of that.
Absolutely.
Must have more of that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at that, it's all about mixing it up, Ali, because I can read Arsenal a lot of the time. They're going to come back inside and go sideways and this, that, whatever, but sometimes just miss that midfield out. And all push up as a unit. We used to do it with Dennis Bergkamp trying to pick up the little bits and pieces from the striker. Oh. And suddenly you're in their half, and then you make your runs from the wide areas. So there's nothing wrong with that. I know we want to see great little football and all the press, beat the press and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. As Dean Saunders says, it's only closing down what we used to do. But, it's all these captions of beat the press, beat this. But it's nothing wrong with going a bit longer. As long as it's quality, you're putting a nice quality ball in. And then the thing we always do as well is when... I'd never get this bit. It's when the centre-half takes the goal kick and passes it to the goalkeeper, and then he passes it back to him, and then suddenly they get closed down, and then they end up booting it anywhere. I just don't get that bit either sometimes.
Right, I think it's pretty straightforward. If you've got Dennis Bergkamp in your team, right, you're getting the ball up to him as quickly as humanly possible, right? You stick it in a taxi up to him and just let him go on with me. Okay, we're going to come up. It's not very often that Harry Kane gets it wrong, Ray, Laura. However, he was praising his defenders last night. What's going on with you, Harry? By the way, he was different class. That might be one of the passes of the season. That's coming next.
Xavi Simons, it's not Molyneux. You can't blame Spurs' pitch for that. But I have to say, mate, we've got to have a look at this medical team. I think they changed it last year.
But it's the medical team. So there's two parts to it. You and I both know, right? Strength and conditioning and training. Like, there has to be joined up thing. The medical team only deal with injured players. It's not their fault they're injured. The medical team try and get them back. Where the medical team need to be looked at is the length in time that these players are out for. Some of these players, what's happened to Kulusevski? Is he still even with us? I mean, he has just completely disappeared. I know Maddison's been on the bench recently.
Yeah, but he's not fit. He can't play.
But you need these players back. That's where the medical team come into it. But in terms of picking up injuries, you can't blame the medical team for picking up injuries. That comes down to training.
Isn't there injury prevention? I don't know. I mean, like hamstrings and things like that. You can look at
soft tissue,
tissues and things like. I mean, ACL. I mean, what? You can't blame the medical team for that. What I can blame the medical team for is the fact that they put eye spray on his knee when he's off. And everyone in the ground could see that he was in a bad way, Xavi Simons. He was in a bad way. And they got him up. I think it made him...
Olivia Moore! And they sent us a picture that made me feel so ashamed. We look like hoarders.
Chris Marshall!
Yeah, I'm actually recovering from an accident right now.
You've landed loose today, haven't you?
Yeah, don't shake the arm, Chris, too much.
With Danny Boyle, who's like the maddest director ever. He's got so much energy. He's like you.
Okay, 9:20 this Wednesday, the 29th of April, as I look out the window into the Madrid. Nah, it's not sunshine deck. It's not sunshine. It's just not happening out there. I'm devastated.
Oh, there's a storm coming apparently.
Honestly.
It's beautiful in London. Beautiful.
I swear to God, Ray, I left Glasgow thinking a couple of days of sunshine.
He's got sunshine lotion on him and all sorts.
We've packing the Amber Solaire for me with my big hat and everything. My Speedos, Ray, the Speedos looked at me, we've have the whole shebang, and they're staying in the suitcase. Now, Laura, believe it or not, was meant to only be here for the one segment or one section, but I've handcuffed her to the bottom of the chair there, and she's not getting away. I made the executive decision to keep our presenter and great friend Laura Woods if I get prediction for tonight, and also to give her a responding rallying cry even to those guys.
Those sports bar boys.
What are those naughty sports bar boys?
I saw Jason the other day. I saw him. Where did I see him? I think it was at Wembley. I saw him at Wembley, and he literally went, "Do you recognise me?" And I was like, "No, not without the mask. I don't recognise his normal face anymore." Prediction for tonight: 0-0, probably. I think it's going to be tight.
Would you take 0-0?
I would. I'd be disappointed with it, but yeah, I would. So they can bring it back to the Emirates and then hopefully do something with it. But for my nerves, no, I don't want to just take 0-0 or 1-1 even. It depends the way the game goes. Like if they're going for it and they're really trying and it's a great game and you kind of think, oh well, we managed to get away with 1-1 there or whatever, then maybe I feel a little bit different. But no, I don't want to leave it to chance necessarily. Yeah. But that's just me from a fan's perspective, I think, Ray.
Laura, Ali will be on commentary. Can't wait for that, Ali. Looking forward to hearing that. But who you got with you tonight, Laura?
Who've I got? Martin Keown.
Oh, tell Martin. Right, make sure you let Martin hear what Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara have said about him. And he'll have a little black book, Martin, and he'll put a little cross there. So Jamie, just keep looking over his shoulder from now on. Jamie O'Hara's got to look over his shoulder. I'm telling you, with Martin after him.
Martin, who in the last game when we talked about this, we did the last Arsenal game when they made it through to the semis, and he said, you know what, we've got to get better at the dark arts. And I kind of agree with him because Simeone's going to obviously be
he's a master.
Yeah, so and he was kind of like, we need to be better at that because we can't be outdone by it. So he wants them to be a little bit more nasty and just
Martin
a bit more clever.
was certainly like that. Martin was definitely like that. I promise you.
I don't know if Martin's was the dark arts. He was so overt about it. I don't know if you can kind of be... there was no sneakiness about two-footed tackles or anything like that.
Martin's arts were pitch black, but they were in front of your face. To be fair, you know, so it's a kind of contradiction in terms. As pitch black as they were blatantly seen by everybody around the country.
Exactly. Steven Gerrard's going to be there with us tonight.
He's coming this morning.
Steve McManaman as well. So look, we'll all be out there. We're literally all here now, just getting ready for the game and preparing and figuring out if it's gonna be a storm or not pitch side. But I can't wait, Ray. I am excited about it.
I just can't wait for you to see Ali in his Speedos around the pool.
Do you know what? When he said that...
she'll need to get in the queue. There's a queue forming now as we speak. Right.
It's around the block, isn't it?
Words get out, mate.
The sun's coming out, Ali. I can see the sun coming out.
There's a boy in the... the queue starts in the outskirts of Madrid, mate. There's a boy selling tickets.
I've just had a text from my mum saying my mum's joining the queue.
Oh, Ali.
Marvellous. She's got me embarrassed again. Look at my face. It takes a lot for me to go red, but she's won. She has won. We're going to let her go after that outrageous comment. We're going to let Laura go, because I think it's only 5 minutes to it's the end of the pancakes at breakfast.
I know. I'm going to go get you some, I promise.
Great to see you, Laura.
Great to see
you. Enjoy
you.
the game tonight.
Take care. See you, Ray.
Thanks a lot. Now, you love this, Ray. Don't forget the game obviously is live on talkSPORT as well. With that incredible game last night, we've got a message from European football expert, right? And they write Doogie, it's Doogie Critchley, right? Yeah. And they put Doogie as if a Scotsman wouldn't know how to say Doogie, right? Not Douglas, not Doug, it is Doogie. And he's got his thoughts on the top-class quality that was on show last night.
I think last night's epic clash between PSG and Bayern illuminated a few things to me. I think between both sides there are probably 10 players that could be considered the best in the world in their position. And the freedom that they played with, the willingness to win the game rather than avoid losing it, was absolutely crucial to the narrative of this game. I think it also indicates that In the Premier League this year, probably not a surprise given we've lost De Bruyne, Salah's had a poor season, Wirtz has been adapting to the league, Isak's got injured, players like Palmer, Saka, Odegaard have been far from their best. It doesn't feel like we've got the individual quality compared to the rest of Europe right now. I also think there's an element that whilst players like Rice, Caicedo, Saka, Palmer, a number of players I've just mentioned, are amongst the best in the world in this position, we do have a tendency in the Premier League to overrate the players that we watch on a weekly basis, particularly if they're English.
That's an interesting view.
The only thing I say about it, Ali, is that we all know that you can't rest players in the Premier League, can you? You can't give people rests, and you can't. I should imagine Bayern Munich and PSG are a lot more fresher because they can take a full to rest players in certain games, and they win it pretty comfortably. And I don't think you can do that in England. You can't. As much as I looked at that game last night, and the quality was outstanding. And they are probably two of the best, well, if not the best teams in Europe. But you can also argue that the Man Cities and Arsenals and Liverpools, whoever's in the Champions League, Man United, they've got to play a strong team every single week. They can't afford, if you're going for the title, you can't afford to rest 2 or 3 key players every week, which they can probably do, and which makes them more fresher. That's all I can say, really. I mean, is PSG... They've run away with the league most years. I know Bayern Munich they run away with it a lot of the time. I know sometimes they do not win it.
No, you're right.
Dortmund won it, but they can risk key players at certain times, especially coming to the latter stages of the tournament.
Spot on. 100% spot on, mate. The opportunity for example, those 2 great teams that we saw last night, Bayern Munich and PSG, the opportunity for them to rest players is far greater than it is for the top teams in England. I mean, you look, the perfect example, Ray, you know, even an FA Cup semi-final between a team from the division below the top flight against Manchester City, there was no guarantees, mate. There was and I know he arrested a good few players, but definitely I think the gap between the certainly the bottom of the top flight and top of the Championship and the top flight in England is closer than it is in if not all, certainly most of the leagues elsewhere, mate. So I think you make a valid point. The next up, the Championship promotion race really is going down to the wire. It is fantastic. What a weekend we've got coming up. But coming up next, we're going to get the thoughts of a legendary EFL manager, Neil Warnock. Neil will be with us next.
We'll keep our eye on Newcastle. Members of PIF travel into Newcastle this week for their annual meeting with the club's departmental heads. How high on the agenda do you think Eddie Howe's name is going to be, Alex?
I think it has to be pretty high because it's been a disappointing season. There's no two ways about that. They're a lot lower down the Premier League table than he would have expected at the start of the campaign. Looks like they're not going to get European football at all next season, which might help them in the long run because I think they found it a struggle balancing Champions League and domestic ambitions. But if I was Eddie Howe, I'd have some questions for the owners. You know, there's players who want out of that football club. Anthony Gordon being one. Sandro Tonali, I don't think it was a coincidence that his agent was leaking stories that Arsenal were interested in January. Tino Livramento, I'm told, has no intention of...
Boxing. It's a sport that makes multi-millionaires out of the world's best fighters. But it's not as flush with cash as you'd think. We all see how much the likes of Tyson Fury or Canelo Alvarez make every fight, but that's not the case for those just starting out. or those who aren't even at that level. For example, if you've just turned pro and don't have a promoter, you have to sell your own tickets, cover the cost of the venue yourself, and pay the taxman at the end of it. You might not even break even, but if you do, you're looking at 5 to 10 grand max. A mid-tier fighter might make more like 10 to 50 grand, but you still have to give up half of that in costs. So unless you're fighting for a world title, it's tough to make money. One potential way of doing it, though, is being a journeyman. Here's former European champion talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver explaining how that could work.
They want to fight every week, and they can be going in against the prospects, so they can demand good money, and they might be demanding like 5 grand, 10 grand for a 6-rounder or something, because they're going in with a prospect. He gets through that, the journeyman gets through that fight, and he can fight again next week.
I mean, even so, it's not much, and you're getting punched in the face for a job. It's only really at the top level, i.e. fighting for titles, where you're earning up to 6 figures and can afford a diamond chain or that Ferrari. So boxing isn't a sport that allows you to retire at 40 and live a life of luxury. Much like a lot of other sports and jobs in general, it takes an awful lot of luck quite early in your career to really make it worth your while.
What have we got? 10:32, 9:32 of course it is. 10:32 here in Madrid, 9:32 with Raimondo in London Bridge. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Ally and Ray with you this morning. Now, it was an enthralling 2-all draw in the Championship last night between Saints and Ipswich, leaving it all to play for on the final day in the promotion race this Saturday. Honestly, what an end to the season we're having everywhere effectively. Scotland, Championship, Champions League. Honestly, it's magical. It really is. Three teams, I beg your pardon, can still go up automatically, and amazingly it all comes down to Wrexham and Hull for a place in the playoffs. Unbelievable. To give us more, let's bring in a man who knows the EFL better than anyone, that's for sure, holding the record for the most games managed in English football. It's the one and only Neil Warnock. Neil, very good morning. Thanks for joining us, mate. How are you?
Morning, Neil.
Yeah, very good. Are you, Ray? Ali, very good. Yeah, weather's lovely in England here.
Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that, Neil.
I'm down in Oxford.
A long line of people.
Ali, I'm in Oxford and I'm on a balcony here talking to you and looking at the buildings. What a fabulous city that is, isn't it? You don't realise, do you, when you're rushing about like
beautiful.
You all the time.
It's beautiful, mate. Well, you're in a long line of people that reminding me the weather is back in the UK is far better than it is here. Neil, listen, I've got to say to you, mate, as a man who I know better than anybody can multitask and multi-screen, which game did you watch last night?
I can't tell you, Ali, honestly. I can't tell a lie. I had an appointment. I had an lovely Italian meal. And I only saw the highlights after I'd had me starter and that. I mean, the goals were fantastic, weren't they? I mean, like you say, Harry Kane's pass. I mean, he's just like a bottle of blinking vintage wine, isn't he? I didn't think, when he was at Tottenham, I thought he was decent, but I didn't think he was as good as what he... I'm really pleased for him. He's such a lovely lad, isn't he? And to see the way he's playing now, only going to help England, that, isn't it, in the World Cup coming up.
He definitely thinks so, Neil. I thought his performance, I mean, that pass for the goal was nothing short of ridiculous. It was just amazing. And I spoke in it in the introduction there. We're going to get some end to the season, blinking everywhere, every division, Champions League, World Cup to look forward to. But I want to talk to you about the Championship, if I may. I was at Wembley on Saturday Neil, and I was so impressed with Southampton. I've got to say, I was really, really impressed with Southampton. They fought out a 2-2 draw with Ipswich last night. Where are you with that game and that result, Neil? Would Ipswich be disappointed, or would Keegan be pleased with a point?
I think they'll both be pleased, really. I mean, they were in the Premier League by the post twice in the last couple of minutes. Ipswich, it's in the post. Yeah. They've got players, but they're both. I mean, I thought, what a cracking advert for the Championship. I know you go on about the Premier League and all that, but there were no boring sideways passing last night. It was end to end, and two very good teams, two good managers, and both flying. And I think Ipswich, they should sneak over. I think, when you look around the other teams, my old club, Middlesbrough, will probably be kicking themselves because I thought they should have gone up automatic ages ago, but they hit a brick wall, but they've had a couple of results going. And, I mean, what can you say about Millwall? It's ironic, Josh Coburn, a young lad who I give a debut to at Middlesbrough, it's ironic that he's scoring goals against Middlesbrough and pushing Millwall up where nobody expects him to be. So it's cracking, really, and I just love it, Ali. I know you two, you're a bit, not snobs, but you two have only...
I've never been called a snob, Neil.
No, but you've only played at the top level. You two.
No, I play for Hull, Neil. I play for Hull.
I know, but late on. All right, let it go.
All right.
And but I looked at it and I think, the Championship where they're blinking, where you have to get stuck in and that. It's not all. I mean, you were talking about Arsenal before, Ray, and I mean, I've been nodding off me watching Arsenal. I know I'm 77, but it's look. I think the Championship to me has got everything, and I mean, you see Leicester getting relegated.
Yeah.
It's like you just can't. But having said that, I just think when you look at Tottenham and you look at Leicester and places like that, the dressing rooms, Ray, the dressing room's not right, is it, in them places? And the same, and that's why in the Championship, your dressing room's so important, because you have to get results when things aren't going well, and it's not all pretty. It's been dogmatic at times, and playing systems to suit certain games,
Neil, I just got to ask you that this Wrexham Middlesbrough game's a massive game, isn't it? I mean, because you look at the teams below them, Hull City, Derby have got a chance still to get in the playoffs. If Middlesbrough can get a win there, how do you if you know you're in the playoffs and you say you as manager, how do you approach that game? Because do you look at the playoffs straight away? Do you say, he's got a bit of a niggle, we got to rest him before the playoffs? Or would they rest a few players, do you reckon? Or would they say, no, we've got to get a win going into with the playoffs with a bit of momentum?
Well, I think the thing is they've got a chance of going up, so you can't rest anybody. They could quite easily get promotion on Saturday, so they're not going to rest anybody. I mean, Wrexham have done brilliant to get where they are. So, I mean, I got promotion through the playoffs, Ray, in both ways. I sneaked in on the last day and got the 6th place and went up. And then I also was 17, my first one, at Notts County, we were 17 points in front of Ball Wanderers, and we've got to play them. And that was the first time playoffs come in, and I was stood at Burndon Park. It was peeing down with rain. There were rain dropping on my nose. The ref gave him a goal which should have been disallowed, and I'm thinking, what are we doing here? But we managed to turn it around. So I mean, they are great, but it's a lot of pressure. I think you try and keep it as normal as you can. But you know what players are like, Ray. You all talk about it, don't you? You go home, your families talk about it, and they're massive games. I mean, the biggest league in the world financially. That's what the dream is, and these clubs, the three. And you've got to say, I know they've already gone up, Ray. I'm so pleased for Frank Lampard as well, because as a manager, when you be a manager, and people have gone through bad spells and they've done this and done that and quite easily have walked away to an easier life. I'm really proud of him, how he's done. And my favourite player, Jack Redonial, who I had at Huddersfield, I'm so pleased that he's going to be playing in the Premier League next season,
I've got to ask you quickly.
A lot of people...
Sorry, Ali, it's a little bit of a delay. I've got to ask you, Neil, just quickly. You know, Man City, you know Pep, you love Pep.
Yeah.
You know, he was at Stockport last night. Great to see him at Stockport County, watching that game. But obviously there's a little bit of the fixtures have come out now. They're going to show Man City every game on TV, and obviously Arsenal every game on TV. But the congestion is quite a lot for Man City. Now, do you think if he's got a point complaining about that?
Yeah, but you know you're not going to get anything. You're not going to get any help at this time of year. That's life, isn't it? Really. I mean, I'm going up for the Brentford game to watch it at Man City, and I'm looking forward to that. But Arsenal, you know, I think Arsenal's still in the driving seat, Ray, with the fixtures, and like you say, if they can beat Fulham, you know, if they play diabolical, which they probably will, and win 1-0. They'll, you know, the pressure's on really, because you know Everton away and these other games that City have got, they're not easy. But I think when you look back, I remember talking to him when they were, I think, 10 points or 12 points adrift, and he brought them players in January, Pep, and they've been good players, dear me. When you look at the signings, and that's why I think he probably didn't expect to be where he is now. I think he were planning to have a right go next year with a couple more in the summer, you know. I mean, the Guy and Semenyo and these other. I mean, they've been so good, haven't they? And so it's a bonus for him. But you know what he's like. I went up last year, and they were on a Friday. I went into training on a Friday, Ray. They worked for 2.5 hours on a Friday, and quite intense before a game. Yeah. And I'm thinking, and you know, I'm saying to the lad outside of me, does he know there's a game tomorrow? Can you imagine all the lads that you're here?
Oh, no chance.
Neil, it's unbelievable. I've got to say.
Yeah.
I've got to say, Pep. I mean, at Stockport last night, there's a game, Champions League game on. Pep obviously at Stockport getting beat by Port Vale. Yeah. I mean, you would never catch Ray or myself at somewhere like Stockport, as you say. We're football snobs. I mean, just at the end of this, mate, I'm going to go for my smoked salmon and poached eggs for my breakfast. Would you recommend that, Neil?
Yeah. Of course you are. I mean, when I go and watch Greenock Morton, Ali, you know, you wouldn't lower it, would you? You won't lower yourself to go that far, and I love it. But listen, the thing is, when I look at I go down to non-league now. Obviously, Torquay's my team. They're at home next Saturday in the playoffs. But when I go and watch non-league teams, this is where Pep's been instrumental, because they're all doing it, aren't they? They're all passing around at the back, all playing it. And you mentioned it earlier, Ray, about goalkeepers. And if you can blinking, why not play a few early ones and get the second balls on the halfway line?
Exactly
right. Forward.
Yeah.
Oh, it just does my head in when I see him going back across all the time. But anyhow, hey, at least the long throws have come back, Ray. My ears are back, innit?
Absolutely, Neil. Now, I've got to ask you, just quickly, I know, look, you get invited to Man City quite often. Have you ever, you know, Pep was at Stockport last night. You offered Pep down to Torquay? Yeah, love it down there. You know we'd love it. Don't stay at 40 Towers, though. Don't stay at 40 Towers. But
listen, I've had some, believe it or not, I have had some nice messages about Torquay from him. And, I mean, and it's like when Bristol City when Roy took over, I thought, should I send him a text saying if you want a young assistant, I'm available. You know. So you can't.
Brilliant.
You can't.
Neil,
you can't. Hey, listen, last thing, Ali. You know, you talk about managers and all that lot. You're talking about who's replacing here, Mourinho, this and that other. I'm telling you now, you can't say 5 managers now that are good enough. You can't name 5 managers.
Exactly right.
And all these clubs are looking at them, bringing all the young coaches in and all that lot. Man management is still 95% of being successful.
Yep,
getting
absolutely.
Getting the best out of your team, but getting out what you've got.
That's why you should be backing it, Neil. Harry Redknapp, people like that, they get the best out of the players they've got. See?
Yeah,
that's it.
Because I mean, it's not rocket science, Ray. No. I mean, everybody's trying to change it with data and all these stats and everything like that, and it's still getting the best out of what you've got, whatever level.
Absolutely.
Of course, that's final question, Neil. Just a quick one.
Yeah.
Will Ipswich get the job done against Queen's Park Rangers at the weekend?
I think so, yeah, I think so. But you know, when you go into them games and opposing manager, nothing to lose, and they have got individuals at QPR. Yeah. But Kieran McKenna deserves everything he gets, because it would have been easy last year to walk away. And I've got a lot of admiration for what he's done, and I hope he gets back up. I'd like to see him again second time round. And you know, the lad Clark up front's on fire at the minute. So it'll be a good game, good weekend. I'm doing it on Sky Alley on Saturday.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah.
I'm doing the last day, you know, so I'll be there when it's all happening.
Great stuff.
Brilliant, mate. It'll be what a climax to the season, the Championship. You know what we think of that division, mate. Absolutely love it. Thanks for taking the time to join us this morning,
all the best, Neil.
Enjoy your football between now and the end of the season. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, lads.
OK, coming up, we're going to turn our attention back to tonight. Huge, massive game in talkSPORT, and it is live, as you imagine. Atletico Madrid will be hosting the one and only Arsenal. Jack Wilshere believes that Martin Odegaard is the key to the game tonight, but what does Ray think? We're going to find out that next.
I'll bet you're delighted that I'm a Celebrity is all over. You've got to be thrilled at that.
I thought I'd gone to the wrong show. I thought it was the Jeremy Cole show. I've never seen so much aggravation. I thought I'm in the wrong studio here. All the crowd is shouting things. Oh, it was a nightmare.
Oh, I bet it was.
I thought, don't, I'm not a celebrity. Get me out of here. That's what I was going to say. It was David was, he was in good form. David Hay. But listen, Andy, we've been brought up in dressing rooms. You've been around football, you two guys, Andy. All your life, banter. This wasn't strong banter compared to what you've had in dressing rooms over the years. You just get on with it, didn't you?
Yeah.
It all got out of hand. People couldn't take a bit of banter and become a big issue.
Yeah, it's a shame because, I mean, again, great personalities, great characters in there.
Yeah.
But it's been.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
That's us in the home straight, pal. Last 10 minutes, Ray obviously in London Bridge, holding the fort back in London. Myself out Madrid here, looking out the window. Yeah, it's kind of dull, Ray. You would like to hear dull is the word I would use. Not something I thought I'd be saying about the weather in Madrid. Dull. Now, here's one for you. 30 years ago, I cannot believe this is 30 years, mate. Kevin Keegan's Newcastle and Sir Alex Ferguson's Manchester United were locked in an intense title race. I remember it as if it was yesterday. Fergie was doing his usual mind games during the run-in, which led to this wonderful, beautiful rant from Kevin 30 years ago to the day.
When you do that with footballers, like he said about Leeds,
And when you do things like that about a man like Stuart Pearce, I've kept really quiet, but I'll tell you something. He went down in my estimation when he said that. We have not resorted to that. But I'll tell you, you can tell him now, if you're watching it, we're still fighting for this title. And he's got to go to Middlesbrough and get something. And I'll tell you, honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
Oh, that was so good. I remember it. Well, I was playing in that era.
Brilliant,
fantastic.
mate.
And that's what we want. That's passion. That's passion. I remember at Anfield, wasn't it? Was that Anfield, wasn't it? I'm sure it was.
Oh, mate, I love I love Kevin's rant, man. It just you could see it building up and building up and building up, and he just eventually went, right here, have some of this. I'll bet you.
That's what Sir Alex Ferguson was good at, wasn't he? Yeah, exactly. That's what Sir Alex was good at. You know, he knew he was
Fergie was the best
getting under his
business.
skin.
Best in the business. But I must admit, Ray, I did love that Newcastle side. I mean, that was a great team to watch. That particular Newcastle side. I mean, they were absolutely different class, and they obviously can consider themselves a little bit unlucky not to win it. So, with this year's race tighter than ever, we've got Raimondo all the way from London Bridge.
Oh, this is terrible.
We need it for you, mate. We need the rallying cry for the Arsenal tonight. And if you can, by the way, give us it. I was going to say, give us it in Kevin Keegan style. I tell you what style I want.
It wasn't a good style.
Right, I tell you what I'm after. Give it in the style of I see dead people.
Listen, Arsenal have got to go for it now. No fear, no excuses, no more nearly moments. City are on a charge. Yes, but they are beatable. This is a time for courage, aggression and belief. No hiding, no hesitation. Nobody remembers second place. I've kept quiet until now, but we are still fighting for this title. They've got to go to Everton and get something. And I tell you now, I would love it. I would love it.
Famous quotes,
love it. If Arsenal beat them to the title.
In the Sixth Sense. Different class. Hey, if that's not got the Arsenal boys sticking on the tin helmets and fixing the bayonets on the end of the rifles, I don't know what will, mate. That was tremendous.
They're going to win 5-0 now, Ali. No, I mean, do you know what
are you thinking, mate?
Do you know what these numpties are like? They go, quick, do this in the break, Oh,
they're unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, you know
that was very
like.
Good. That was very good.
No,
what do you think? Well, here's one for you. What will Arteta's? What do you think his instructions will be to the boys before the game?
Well, I'll always say start on the front foot. You know the noise of the stadium itself. The fans will get right behind them. You've got to try and silence them when you go away from home. And it's always more difficult when you play European games than it is the Premier League. They're a lot more noisy. You noticed that last night, Paris Saint-Germain. When you go to Germany, when you go to Greece, Galatasaray and places like that, Ali, it's so noisy. So you've got to try and do something to, get the noise down a little bit. So you've got to. I'm sure they'll be trying to get the possession, but I just want to hope they go out there and have a real go. As I said before, no regrets. When you walk off that pitch, you give everything you've got. And substitutions could play a part as well. Don't worry about the weekend's game. Just worry about tonight. Get your job done tonight, and that would give you a lot of spirit, a lot of belief, a lot of confidence. If you can get a result tonight away at Madrid, then you know that falls into place nicely for the weekend as well. So there'll be a good. I'm sure you'll see a lot of Arsenal fans around, Ali. There'll be a load going out there with no tickets. I should imagine there'll be lots of fans in the bars watching it out there as well. So they're going to get right behind the team. But I just hope they go on the front foot a little bit and not keep sideways passing and that whatever, and just stay in the game. Really, I mean, if they concede, just do exactly what PSG did last night. Bayern Munich went 1-0 up, but then they're on the front foot again. PSG, no heads were dropped whatsoever. Even when it went 5-2, look at Bayern Munich. A lot of people's would have dropped there. Oh, we've lost the game, but they kept going, and that's what I'm going to see from Arsenal tonight, hopefully.
Do you know what I hope we don't get, right? And I'm a little bit concerned because I think we might get it. And it is, in my opinion, a criticism of Simeone's teams through the years, right? We mentioned earlier, we're having a little laugh about it, the dark arts, right? They're definitely capable of it, mate. Whether it's rolling about, feigning injury, bits and pieces. I just hope we don't get a lot of that. I've got a horrible wee feeling that we might get a lot of that tonight, Ray.
Yeah.
You know, which obviously, you know, stops any flow in the game. You know, I mean, clearly Arsenal's one of Arsenal's strengths, as we saw over the period, Ray, is set plays, particularly corners. You know, I've just got this vision in my head of them falling about boxes and things like that, and I hope we don't get it. I really hope we don't get it. Well, I just hope we get a top quality game.
Yeah, it's all about the referee then, Ali, isn't it? I mean, I don't know who the referee is tonight, but they're quite, you know, last night I thought the referee had a decent game apart from the penalty, really.
So did I.
I thought he played really well. And that's someone in his ear roll. There's someone in his ear roll saying, oh, yeah, I think... But I think the rules in Europe are totally different in handball. I don't think that would have been given in England. I don't think that would have been a handball in the Premier League.
No, it's just a scandalous decision. And, you know, and as I said after the game, mate, it was a shocking decision. And by the way, I've seen one in there just as bad. Newcastle got a penalty given against them in that stadium as well. I think it was a Polish referee, and it was an appalling decision. But I think you make a good point. I'm not sure. In fact, I'll take it a step further. I don't think that penalty is given in the top flight in England, and nor should it be, mate. Nor should it be. So there you go, mate. I'm wishing you all the best. I'm looking forward to it, my pal. I'm looking forward to the
What's
game.
What's your plan today, Ali? How do you get ready for a game? Do you have to do a little bit of a prep, or do you have a little stroll around Madrid?
Yeah. We'll go for a nice walk. I'm actually, believe it or not, this will stagger you. I'm going to go to the gym, right? I'm going to get back on that bike. I'll have a cycle for a good 45 minutes to an hour. We're then going to go for a little bit of a lunch with the boys, Stephen and Fletch and all the guys, Maka. Yeah. We'll have a bit of lunch. Woodsy will be there as well, hopefully. And then I'll come back to the hotel. I've done most of my prep for tonight. Just one or two wee bits and pieces that we'll catch up on. And what I might do, or what I definitely will do, I'll probably do a wee hour's prep on Forest versus Villa tomorrow, mate. So I'll get Forest versus Villa, which is a great game. So I'm heading back and I'm heading to Nottingham. So I'll do a wee bit of prep for that, mate. But listen, fingers crossed. Never mind those Tottenham fans, pal. I'm rooting for the Arsenal tonight. I want to see Arsenal in that final. Of that, there's no doubt, mate. So the best of luck to you. And thanks very much for your company this morning, mate.
Have a good day,
really
mate.
Enjoyed it, pal. You too, pal. I'll see you when we get back. Atletico versus Arsenal, of course. Just a wee reminder. It is live on talkSPORT tonight, and also tomorrow morning. Do not miss this. Coventry boss and Chelsea legend Frank Lampard will be joining Jeff and Gabby on the show tomorrow. That is certainly not to be missed. 6 a.m. tomorrow. Set your alarms. Coming up next, it's Jim, Simon and Danny.
Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua. 03717 223344. Mohammed in Cardiff. Good morning. Where are you at with this then?
Good morning, Jim. Good morning, Simon.
Morning.